What is up, everybody? What is going on? Welcome back. You have now tuned into the JR Wisdom channel. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe button as well for my guest, the great Princella, the Queen Maker. She's listed in the title of the video. So go ahead and do that off top before we get into these, housekeeping rules. And I officially introduce her, because we haven't been on here in a while. But shout out to everybody that's tuned in. So with that being said, I wanted to introduce you guys formally to Princella. How are you doing this evening, Princella?
I'm fantastic, JR. Thank you for having me.
I appreciate you showing up. I know we set this up probably like a month or so ago. You know what I mean? I think it's very interesting to have these conversations and for people to get in my space as well as your space, for people who don't know who you are, because people tend to get a wrong idea when they see just a small clip of someone and someone giving their, basically stating and affirming,
yes,
what they're about and their truth and things like that. And people take it as negativity, especially on the woman side, the female side of things. So that's why I just wanted to bring you on here so I can learn more, because we have, like I said, we haven't talked too much behind the scenes, so I can learn more as well as everybody else.
yes.
You know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure we're gonna get we're going to address this topic and take some calls in reference to a controversial statement like men are incapable of love. So
Yes.
Before we get into it, because we're going to get into your background first, guys, go ahead and shout out where you're from and everything. Hit that like button. Like I said, subscribe to Princella's channel. It's tagged in the video title. And we're going to just jump right into it. We're going to run it up. So, Princella, like I said, I came across you, like everybody, a lot of people on here that's probably watching, came across you. Well, me, TikTok. They might have came across you on Instagram or YouTube, but I came across you on TikTok. I think you had a viral video. I don't know how many views it had. Maybe you can probably, tell me about that one in particular where you were kind of stating, your qualifications, accomplishments, what you're able to do as a young, successful, independent, accomplished woman. How many views did it have? You recall?
Oh my goodness, yes. Well, it went viral on Facebook. Somebody reposted it there,
Okay.
and it got 50,000 shares over there. It got up to 600,000 on TikTok, and then I think it's reached over 100,000 on YouTube. Yes.
Got you. That's doing some numbers right there. Just all based off of you stating, where you coming from in terms of things.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So anyway, let's start at the beginning. Like I said, I just asked you before we even came on, are you from Louisiana? Right off top, you was like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? So let's dive into that. What part are you from? Is that where you like grew up, or?
I grew up in Shreveport, Louisiana.
Okay.
And I'm the daughter of a ex-military man.
Okay.
He was Navy, and my grandfather was Air Force, and my aunt was Army. So I guess you can say that I kind of come from a military family.
Okay.
And in Shreveport, I went to school, elementary, middle, and high there. So you can say I'm from there, even though I went to elementary school out there. Some of my elementary school I did in South Carolina, moving around with my dad. So that's where I'm from, Shreveport, Louisiana. They don't even consider us Louisiana.
What do they call it? Chopper City? What do you call it? Is it Chopper City?
No, Port City.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're so close to Texas, and everybody think Louisiana is New Orleans. So they don't consider us Louisiana. They consider us more Texas. So,
right. I don't know why I was thinking about that. Maybe because it was a Hurricane Chris. Is he from there?
Yeah. Hey,
Okay.
baby. Hey, baby.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. You said South Carolina?
I did go to school in South Carolina, yes.
Well, what part? Because I live in South Carolina. I'm from South Carolina. That's fine.
I was in Columbia, and then I was in Goose Creek, Charleston.
Yeah. Goose Creek. I live right. Basically, I live in Goose Creek.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a naval base, so that makes sense.
Yes.
I got you. So you were with your father, you said?
Mom and dad.
Okay. Because I know you were saying moving around with your father, so that's why my thoughts automatically went to that. Okay.
Yeah.
So what were you like? What kind of kid were you growing up? Were you
No.
were you this, did you already know who you were? Were you like, commanding and, living in your feminine and knew what time it was early on, or was that a
Well,
process?
nobody knows really anything as they're young. We
Right.
can kind of have a sense, but life shapes you. So,
For sure.
I've been a tomboy my entire life since I was a kid, right?
Okay.
So I came out wanting to play football and play with the little army men,
Right.
and my mom used to put me on dresses, and I couldn't stand it. I couldn't stand it because I used to want to go racing, and I couldn't go racing, running races with a skirt on. So, it used to
Right.
be, it just, so my mom, she had this idea of me being she had an idealized fantasy of her children being picture perfect. So she wanted me to be a cheerleader and she wanted my brother to be a football player. That you know what I mean? And it
Mhm.
didn't turn out like that because I was the one I was active. And so they always used to say that I should have been the boy and he should have been the girl when we was
Mhm.
kids, just based on our active level, So for me, this active power person,
Yeah.
I've always been this person.
Always been.
Hmm.
So were you in high? What were you like in high school?
Shy and quiet,
Yeah.
right? I got picked on a lot. I got bullied in elementary school, middle school, and high school, right? I look like a kid,
Okay.
and I was very focused on my education. In high school, I was in ROTC. They
Hmm.
wanted me to run cross country, but I chose not to run cross country. But instead, I joined ROTC, and I was a part of the rifle team,
Okay.
the drill team,
Mhm.
and PT team. I joined three. No,
Right.
it wasn't a PT team. It was rifle. It was rifle team. I
Yeah.
think that's it. And so I also played basketball, and
Okay.
that's when I started rapping. I really started rapping a lot in high
Oh,
school. So
okay. I
um,
didn't know that. Yeah, I'm learning. Go ahead. Go
oh
ahead.
yeah, I do a lot. I do some of everything. There's nothing that I can't do. But I was so focused on education. I used to go. I was the one that was tearing up backpacks because I used to carry like these heavy books in my backpack,
Right.
and I used
Nice and
to,
dusty at the bottom.
yeah, I used to do research papers for money. I remember I wrote 6 research papers on the same subject. I
Mm,
wrote mine and 5 other ones, right?
right.
I used to charge people for that in high school. So that's, getting picked on and not being the pick of the litter, right? You know,
What do you mean by that? Just by you? You said you were.
yeah, because, I wasn't like any of the other girls, right? I was an oddball out. I've always been an oddball out.
Okay.
I live the life that men whine and complain that they live, right? Where
Oh.
they ain't getting a D. I live that life, right?
Okay.
You know, and I've had to develop myself by myself, right?
Mm,
So when it comes to a lot of what men are talking about, I have very little sympathy for them because the same thing that they went through, I did, but I went through it probably a lot worse than they did,
mm,
and I still came out on top, and
right.
that's what I expect out of men, right?
Mm,
So I wasn't the one. I didn't get a bunch of people hollering at me when I was, but I tell you what, I did get. I did get adult grown men
mm,
trying to approach me as a 14 and a 15-year-old, men in their 30s and 40s. I did
right.
get that, right?
That's a different topic altogether that
Yeah,
needs to be discussed. But I'm sorry. Go ahead.
absolutely. But this is just the reality of life, you know what I mean? So, then out of high school, right? I didn't grow up in a good supportive family. I was
Mm,
pretty much an outcast in my family. Um, my grandmother used to put me and my brother out. She had 8 grandkids, and she used to put me and my brother outside. She wouldn't feed me and my brother, and she'll lock us outside all day while she kept my other cousins in the house. She would feed them, but she wouldn't feed me and my brother
why is that?
because she didn't like my mom,
Okay.
right? So we were the outcasts, like I guess you could say the black sheep, right?
Right.
So, um, like my grandmother would fix a big pot of beans, right?
Yeah.
Beans, rice, chicken, and all of that.
Right.
She would tell me and my brother that it wasn't enough for us to eat, that me and him couldn't eat it.
Mm-hmm.
But other family members would come by, pick up their kids. They would eat seconds, first seconds, and then my grandmother would put the food up,
Right.
the same food that she say we couldn't eat because it wasn't enough. And then after the food got about 7 days old, before she gave it to the dog, she would be like, Princella and my brother, y'all want this before I give it to the dog,
Right.
right? So that
Wow.
so I lived an abused life, right?
Mm.
So I grew up pretty much by myself. I've lived on the streets, right? I've been abused. I didn't have family support.
Mm-hmm.
So this person that you see right here, I created me. I created me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I um, I didn't know what I was going to do because my mother wasn't supportive either. She wasn't supportive at all, and so for about 3 years, I waited. I couldn't wait till my 18th birthday because I knew I was going to leave that situation. And I joined the military on my 18th birthday because I didn't know I didn't know what I was going to do. Nobody
Mm-hmm.
was teaching me anything. I didn't know how I was going to function in the world, right? And so I joined the military because I felt it was safer for me to go to the military and learn about life there as opposed to living on the streets and trying to figure it out in an ungoverned, uncontrolled, undisciplined world. I would rather go where there's some structure to help me figure out life.
Mm-hmm.
So I chose the military, right?
Right.
And I spent 8 years in the Army, and I got my commission as an officer while I was in there, right?
Right.
And so after that, right, I got out, and then I went to school. I got myself into college, and I studied cell and molecular biology. So I have a science background. Say again?
No, I'm right. I'm writing this down. Go ahead. Cellular molecular biology. Is that what you said?
Yeah, cell and molecular biology.
Okay.
And amongst the core curriculum was botany, organic chemistry 1 and 2, um, biochemistry, inorganic chemistry, physics 1 and 2, calculus,
Mm-hmm.
genetics. I've taken all of those courses, and those courses help shape my analytical mind to
Right.
be able to observe data and draw conclusions, rational conclusions. So I have that in my arsenal as well. I'm professionally trained as a leader because of my commission in the military. Um, I was also a top salesperson. Um,
I
I,
remember you saying that. Yeah. Go
yes,
ahead. Yeah.
I, I excelled in all sales that I've ever done. I sold over 120 cars alone by myself in a year. And within 6 months, I sold 75, right? Because I was determined to get that General Motors ring.
Wow.
But I lived on the streets. I've been in abusive relationships. You name it, I've been through it. It ain't nothing that I ain't been through, right?
Right.
And so I've been able to go through that and analyze my life. And I've been able to analyze the circumstances, the situations, the people, and I've been able to combine all of the information and the wisdom that I've gathered through science curriculum, through sales, marketing, everything that I've ever done. And I've been able to piece it all together to come up with an entire picture of how this world works.
Facts.
So I'm naturally gifted in human behavior and human psychology. I've
Mm.
always made straight A's in psychology in class. I've never had to really study, so I'm just gifted. And life was a training ground for me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know how other people live their lives, but life is a school for me. And it has taught me more than what any class could ever teach me. Right.
Right.
And so my philosophy and the way that I see the world comes from 25 years worth of a variety of experiences. But not only did I do all that stuff, I play music, right?
Mm-hmm.
I play the piano, play a little bit of the drums. I'm an artist. I draw. I do spoken word poetry. I'm a rapper. I can sing a little bit, right? I recorded a CD. I have 2 CDs, 2 albums I recorded, and some of my music plays at the beginning um, of my shows.
Right.
So I've dedicated my life to personal development
Hmm.
and high achievement, right? So I don't waste time on planet Earth.
Right.
All right. So that's practically me in a nutshell.
So it sounds like you're like a Renaissance woman.
Yes, I guess you can say.
Based off what you're saying, you're very soft spoken. You have a voice, and I know some people are like, you're laying it on thick right now, because I'm reading the comments. I don't know if you're reading the comments, and I like to interject from time to time,
Hmm.
because I think people get the wrong idea about things. I see
Hmm.
some people saying, I'm going to use this against you.
Oh.
What you're telling me, I'm going to use this against you. I don't know how. I'm here to learn about you, and I'm pretty sure I want my audience to learn about you as well. I don't bash anybody. You know what I'm saying? So whoever's listening, no, why would I have to use it against her? Not, she's a human being. She's telling me her story, and hopefully some people can learn from it. So
Mhm.
hope that answers whatever thoughts you had or questions you had. So
Mhm.
so you said sales. Sorry about that.
Yes,
So you're
say
talking about, do you, because I'm in sales too,
right.
and obviously thrown into sales, you have a background like me. You have a military background,
Hmm.
and being military, and I know some people can relate, is that you tend to be stoic. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're not in a customer service MOS or occupational specialty like mine. I was just straight to business, even though I was in logistics.
Hmm.
Do you find that, because I think it does, sales, relationships is sales, sales is relationships, they correlate.
Hmm.
You kind of spoke on that. What's your thoughts on that in
Well,
terms
everything in life is, I won't say business, but it's an ebb and flow, because
correct?
the law of the universe is cause and effect and giving and receiving. You cannot have a cause without an effect. There's always going to be effect if you introduce a stimuli to something, a
Hmm.
stimulus to something. That's always going to be the case, no matter what. Okay. So it's the same way with giving and receiving. You cannot give without receiving something.
Right,
Okay. So all interactions operate that way.
right,
All interactions operate that way. So, in terms of sales, sales is important because it is the application of human psychology in practice. It's practice,
yes,
right? And the better you are at understanding the human mind, the better you can be at sales. Now, I wasn't a shisty salesman. I was an empathetic, compassionate, and personable salesman, right?
okay,
Because I never focused on my commission. I genuinely was interested in solving people's problems, and people loved me.
okay,
I did a variety of different sales. I did one of the most difficult forms of sales outside of cold calling. And what is that? Direct sales,
yeah,
walking and knocking on people's doors.
correct,
I was the top salesman on that. I was able to purchase a car, knocking on people's doors, selling them products, right? So I have, when it comes to, there's a difference in being stoic and being customer oriented, right?
right,
Because there's a law to giving and receiving.
right,
So I don't have to be stoic, right,
right,
to benefit or to flourish in life.
right.
But those who are stoic tend to be very selfish, self
Mm,
centered, and manipulative, something
mm,
that I don't base my life on,
gotcha,
right?
for sure. I can understand that. This is dope. Okay, we got that. So it sounds like you definitely are in the the psychology realm in terms of that. So after the military, what was your transition like after that?
Oh, that was kind of rough. Okay. Okay. So I joined the military to get away from my toxic situation, right?
Okay.
To go to school. And um, during that time, right, being, not having family and support, right,
Hmm.
I was, my spirit was kind of gutted out, right?
Right.
Because as a human, you need bonding. You
Right.
need support systems. This is a part of the lower echelon of Maslow's hierarchy of human needs to
That's,
be a full, whole person.
that's correct.
So I was gutted out, right? And I was still trying to find my way. But I got out of Christianity at 19 years old, right?
Mm-hmm.
I exited that religion. And um, out of exiting that religion, I started to go on a journey of to discover, right? And that's how I got into the conscious realm, right?
Mm-hmm.
And at this stage, I had someone whom I looked up to as a mentor at this time. He was a man, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And he brought me into the conscious information, right? So I was given books written by Malachi York.
Right.
I looked into the Five Percenters. I've looked into all of those religions, right? And then Nation of Islam.
Mm-hmm.
Then he and I had a falling out, right? And then I ended up meeting this guy who was in the Nation of Islam, right?
Okay.
And at this point, I'm thinking that I'm learning some knowledge or whatever. And I found somebody that was uh, knowledgeable. Well, to make a long story short, he and this chick who was also Nation of Islam ran a hustle on me. I was 20, 21 years old, and they both took me for about $40,000 using game, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I've been gamed. The best way to learn game is to lose, right? You got to take L's before you could take some wins. Right?
Absolutely.
Most folks don't realize that. They think life is perfect and you just supposed to win. And men have a jacked up uh idealistic view about women as if women just take W's, W's, W's. She's supposed to come out the womb just taking all W's. Nobody take an L. Baby, you cannot master any game without losing.
Right.
And the ones who lose and they go back and they rewatch the tapes. See, that's what they do in
Right.
football, right? Ain't that's what the team do? They go
Absolutely.
back. That's how you supposed to do.
Absolutely.
I went back and rewatched my tapes. Yeah, I took some L's. I'm not gonna sit up here and act like I ain't took no L's.
Right.
And if you do act like you took a L, you was a lie from the pits of hell,
Facts.
right?
Facts.
Yeah, I took some strong L's. One hit me for 40, right? And that really put a dent because it took my credit score from a 720 to a 430.
Mm-hmm.
He ended up putting a repo vehicle on my credit. He kept the vehicle and I took the hit for it, right?
Right.
Thinking I'm getting some knowledge, Nation of Islam, conscious community, right? Okay. So
Right.
I had to charge that to the game and I had to keep it pushing.
Mm.
But I ended up almost being on the streets, right?
Mm.
Because he took a lot of money from me.
This was after the army, right?
Right. This was while I was in it.
While you was in it. Okay.
While I was in it, right? And I had to get a roommate, right, to kind of help, right? And this roommate wanted to do a business, right? A lot of guys need women to help them with a vision. They
Yeah.
do, right?
You're right. You're right. Yeah.
So trying to go along with message to the black man and being a submissive woman trying to help a nigga out, right?
Right.
I started putting a business plan together for this guy, doing all of that.
Mm.
And guess what happened? He started getting jealous of me because he felt that what I was doing shined negatively on his own self-image. And he started getting jealous and aggressive because I was putting all the stuff and he felt like he needed me too much.
Mm-hmm.
And so he felt like he needed to humble me. So he would get into he wanted to argue with me, and I'm not the person that's going to argue with nobody. I walk away from arguments. Let me tell you something. Men don't like that. Men want to be the ones to cut the stuff short because they want to keep their ego intact and say that I'm the one that did it. They don't like when a woman walk away from them. So I walked away and I went and locked myself in the room. He broke in my room and he choked me and pushed me up against the wall, and it was really loud. And the people upstairs called the police and asked me, was I going to press charges on him? Right.
Mm-hmm.
This is all in my early 20s.
Right.
Right? All in my early 20s. Right? We all take L's and we all live and we all learn, but you better go back and watch them tapes.
Right.
Right? So we ended up moving because I couldn't afford that place no more because the other guy did what he did to me. Guy and a woman, right? Under the guise of polygyny, right? Right?
Okay.
Next Islam, right?
Okay. Okay.
Right?
All right.
Which ain't nothing but a hustle when you got the man trying to run that. Okay. Um, so he tried to put his hands on me again. So I was like, look, I'm not finna deal with this. So I called my commander at the time and I say, look, I'm in an abusive situation and I got to get out of this. I need you to do me a favor. I need you to verify and vouch for me that I'm going to have some PCS orders because this property manager ain't going to let me out of the apartment without some PCS orders.
Mm-hmm.
She don't want me to leave, but I got to leave this. And he was like, after I told him the situation, I did leave. He said I would, I vouch for you, right?
Now tell the people those who don't know what PCS orders are.
Oh, that's a change of duty station, right? Okay, so when you do a change of duty station, that's a legal way for you to get out of a rental agreement.
Right.
But the woman wouldn't let me out of the rental agreement because he was in there gassing her up, and he turned her against me to the point where she didn't like me.
Mm.
So she had an attitude. Now I'm the one really paying most of the rent. He helping a little bit,
Right.
but he thought he was gonna put his hands on me. And I guess you think that Princella is too weak to stay, man. I'm not finna put up with nothing. I don't give a damn what the situation is.
Right.
Don't nothing matter more than my life and my mental health, right? Not that military career, not nothing. So he said that he would vouch for me. So I went and falsified some paperwork.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I falsified some paperwork. And after falsifying the paperwork, I gave it to her with the confidence that my commander was going to vouch.
Correct.
It was me that made a mistake, though.
Mm-hmm.
I did everything right except I put the wrong information down at the bottom. I forgot to change my battalion commander information. Put my company commander information.
Right.
And so he knew that I was trying to leave and he wasn't going to be able to afford that place by himself. He needed me, right? So he knew I was finna leave. So he was trying to keep me there by any means necessary. And when I told her, she ain't going nowhere, blah, blah. So she called my battalion commander.
Oh, your company commander, or your battalion commander?
She called my battalion commander because remember I put my battalion commander down there instead of my company commander that was gonna vouch. See,
so the company commander was gonna vouch.
The company commander was gonna vouch.
I thought you had said the other way around. Okay.
Yeah, no, my company commander was gonna vouch, right?
Okay.
But I messed around. Instead of putting my company commander information down there, I directly put so it messed up everything.
Gotcha.
So then they found out that I falsified some documents and I was forced to resign my commission. That was cool with me. That worked out.
Yeah.
That worked out into my benefit. You know why? Because they was gonna try to court-martial me anyway.
Yeah.
They was gonna try to court-martial me. You know why I was gonna try to court-martial me?
I'm gonna talk to you about that offline. Go ahead though.
Yeah. No, but I'm telling you, the thing is, here's the thing. I'm not submissive. I don't bow down. You can't threaten me with putting your hands on me. You can't make me stay in nothing, right? Mm-hmm. So I was able to leave the military free and clear, right? And I moved to Houston, 2012. And then I got into some more trouble out here.
Right.
I had a Louisiana driver's license, right? I had a Louisiana driver's license and I didn't switch it over, but I ain't had no money. I didn't have nothing. When I got out of the military and when I left there out of that abusive relationship with no money, bad credit, everything, I didn't have nowhere. I didn't have $1 to my name. I had to catch a ride with my friend's uncle who lived in Houston, who just so happened to be in Shreveport at the time for a funeral, and I rode back with them. And
Gotcha.
my friend gave me $20 because just to eat something because I didn't have no money because those guys broke me to my knees. Right.
Right.
So when I got here, I ended up staying on the floor in the corner of my brother's apartment.
Okay.
And my brother's wife charged me $230 to stay there after I got a job
Yeah.
doing door-to-door sales, right?
Right.
Right. So
What year was this? This was 2012.
this is 2012.
Okay.
Door-to-door sales. And I was down, I was at rock bottom. I ain't have $1 to my name. And my brother saw how stressful I was living and he wanted me to relax. But that's not in my body. That's not in my mind because I'm not no quitter. I don't give up and I don't let outside circumstances dictate how I think and how I move. So I didn't sit on my behind when I got there. I had a Louisiana driver's license and I just went and I took the first job that I could get was
Right.
which was a direct marketing gig.
Right.
And I had to get up at 4:00 every morning. I had to walk to the parking ride and I had to ride 3 buses to get all the way on the other side of town just so I can go knock on doors all day. Knocking on doors, selling products. And then I would get off at like 10 o'clock at night and have to take that long bus ride all the way back home and be back up at 4:00 in the morning to do it all over. I did that for 8 months. And it cooled off a little bit when I was able to buy a car off of door-to-door sales. So then I didn't have to go knocking on doors and doing all of that riding, right? But the problem was things went from bad to worse. It went from bad to worse after I got the car because I spent all my money on the car. I saved up all my money and I spent it all on the car because this is my mentality. As long as I got a car, I ain't never really homeless.
Nice.
As long as I got a car. So I bought a car because I'm not going to be sleeping on the asphalt. I sleep in the car, but I'm not going to sleep on the asphalt. So I went and I bust my ass and I got that car. But the headlight was out on the car and I went and I got some insurance. I ain't had no money to really even keep up the insurance.
Right.
The insurance, and then I canceled the policy, but I kept the paperwork. Right?
Yeah.
And so the headlight was out. It's like I had a curse on me in 2012. The harder I worked, the most steps I took forward, the most steps I took backwards. I ended up getting pulled over 8 times in that car.
Let me ask you this before we go on.
Yeah.
How old were you in 2012?
What I'm like, what am I? What I was 25?
25. Okay.
25, 26.
25, 26. Okay. Because I got some questions before you go talk about this dark cloud that was hovering over you. But before we do, you guys, we got 131 people watching right now. We got the lovely Princella, the queen maker, in here. I see we got a lot of support in the chat. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I don't know if we got any mods in the chat. Make sure you guys hit that like button. We should have well over 100 likes by now. Make sure you guys subscribe to Princella's YouTube channel, her Instagram. Y'all go ahead and plug that. If any of my mods plug that in the chat, her YouTube channel is in the description of this video for those of you who are watching on YouTube. Not the description, but it's in the title of the video. So go ahead and subscribe at this time. Hit that like button. Quit playing with me. It's free. It doesn't cost you a thing. It's easy like Sunday morning and shoplifting. So 2012, before we get into this, because I'm just trying to, not put 2 and 2 together, but so you were in you said a polygamous relationship?
You can say polygynous, right?
Polygynous,
yeah.
But you weren't actually legally married.
No, it's hey, this is the Negro game, right? Yeah. Get a bunch of women and suck them dry. That's the Negro game. Hey, listen, Right. I see some of the comments and people like you waiting to gaslight and all that. Like, I want everybody to know, I honestly don't care what nobody think about me.
Right.
I really don't. Because at the end of the day, my only purpose for even saying what I'm saying is to be a light, to show resilience and to show a hard work ethic and a hard mind. And ain't nothing that nobody gonna say gonna stop that. I don't care about their opinions. I don't care about JR opinion, and I don't care about none of anybody's opinion.
Right.
Because what I accomplished, I did this by myself. And I didn't have to run into the arms of a man to save me.
Mm-hmm.
Because if men were so benevolent, it would have been easy for a man to reach out and save and help me with the stuff that I was going through. But no, instead of finding that, what did you find? You found vultures looking for an opportunity to take advantage of somebody. And I became a resilient person. So there's nothing that they're going to do to flip this narrative, because I don't care, because eventually the world is going to hear it. The world going to see it. And I'm just here to be a shining light for somebody who want to be better and not be a victim.
For sure.
Either you want to be a victim or you want to be a victor. But I'm not here to show weakness, because I'm not weak. I'm not here to explain why I think about people the way I think about them. You're going to see it. And either it's going to shine a light on your deficiencies and you realize you're weak, because your weakness ain't got nothing to do with me. And you can name call me, you can say whatever you want, but just understand that you got to go in every night when you go to sleep and look at your life and say, what did I do? What did I do and what did I not do?
Right.
Right.
So this is why they call you Pastor P.
Right.
I keep seeing that up in here. You know, I was like, Pastor P, who's Pastor? And I say, oh, this must be Pastor P.
Yes.
You know, in the congregation up here. You know, so yeah, so we got that 2012. You transitioned during that time. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, it was a dark cloud over you. When it rains, it pours. You got the call, you got the gig. You know, you're doing pretty good. You're trying to get up, but you having these setbacks. You know, the insurance
Setback after setback after setback. I ended up with 8 warrants on that daggone car, and I ain't had no money at the time.
Right.
So guess what? That mean I couldn't get a Texas driver's license. I was
Correct.
stuck with that Louisiana driver's license, right? So anyway, the door-to-door sales gig went down. The dude that owned the company, all the contracts he had just wasn't working out, and then he picked up and moved to Florida, right? So then I'm like, okay, now I got this door-to-door sales experience. That door-to-door sales experience helped bring out some parts of my personality, because I was really shy still, right? I was kind of in a shell, and going through door-to-doors helped break out some of my personality that took some of that fear away.
Absolutely.
Talking to people. So then I started trying to take that concept and do door-to-door sales, pushing some multi-level marketing or that organo gold stuff, right? Right. Because it was real bad for me. It was bad for me, right? And I ain't really had no help. Like, it was so bad. Like, my aunt called my brother not to help me, but to see how bad I was doing.
I know how that is. Yeah. I know exactly how that is. But go ahead. Yeah.
So I met this guy doing door-to-door, selling that. And he's like, oh, you got some skills. You got some skills. I like you to help me I'm a musician. I like you to help me put this show together. Okay. So to make a long story short, he said he was going to pay me, right, to put the show together. And I started putting the show together, right? And with this show, it was a blues show, and I got the personality, and I was new. You gotta understand.
Yeah.
I'm new in Houston. I don't really know nothing about Houston, because I only did door-to-door sales for like 8 months. The rest of the time was with this music thing. I hooked up and found the venue. I connected with the musicians here. I put a whole blues show together, linking up with people all over Houston without knowing anything about the city.
Right.
And it was a success, but guess what? Just like the first dude that I was helping, same exact thing happened with this dude. Guess what? He started getting jealous. He started talking about, oh, you trying to take over my project because I'm doing everything, right? And he wanted to be the center of attention. It wasn't until I was too far in it to realize that he didn't want to do the show because he liked, just like wanted to do music. I find out he got beef with people in the city and that he want to showboat on people and try to put this big event together to say, look at me, look what I did. So because I'm the one having to put everything together, right? Get all of the musicians, and I'm the logistics person doing the whole. Everybody talking to me, and it's taking the eyes off of him. So guess what? He get upset with me. And he gets violent. He gets violent with me to the point where I can't back out of the show now because it's all on me. So I have to start working remotely away from his place. After the show ended, he felt like now I got what I needed. Now he starts harassing me. And he would stalk my brother's apartment because he used to live across the street from my brother. He stalked my brother's apartment to the point that my brother was getting uncomfortable because this dude was stalking, and he was looking for my car.
Right.
So I used to have to hide my car every day so he couldn't find it. And then one day he found my car, and I was leaving to go to work because I had just found a job, right? But I'll get back into that job thing because there was some stuff in there that's important about that job. But I was leaving, and my brother called me on the phone. He was like, where your license plate at? What you mean? I get out the car, both my license plates gone, front and the back. Okay, so then I leave and I come back from my first day of work, and the security guards stop me at the front gate, and they say, you can't come in here. I say, why? So-and-so said you stole his license plates and you ain't on the lease at your brother's house, so you can't stay here. So I'm in a city. I'm in a city that I'm not familiar with, and my brother is my only family. So now I'm living on the streets, right? With nowhere to go, right? And luckily I just got a job, but getting that job was very hard because I didn't have a Texas driver's license.
Right.
And all of the places kept turning me down, and I ain't have no money to pay for the license. So I'm between a rock and a hard place. I don't know what I'm gonna do, right? So to make a long story short, I was told to go back to this other dealership because a chick that I was working with at the time, she wanted to go work at this particular dealership because her boyfriend worked there. So I took her to go interview, and when I walked through the door, the guy was like, he just looked at me and he was like, I want to interview you too. And I was like, no, I'm not here for a job, because I had already been told that I would be hired at another place, right? So I was certain, even with the Louisiana driver's license, I was certain that I was going to get that job. But he interviewed me without asking. It's like the divine, like, spirit realm just told him to interview me, right? So after he interviewed me, he said, you sharp. You'll be successful no matter where you go. And the other job that I thought I was going to have, they didn't hire me. And they just said, you did everything right. We just ain't hiring right now, which I knew was bogus. I know it was bogus, but okay. So my spirit had dropped, because every time I take 2 steps forward, I'm taking like 5 steps back at this time. It's like I can't get ahead no matter how much work I put in. Right? No matter how hard I work, no matter what I do, I just keep getting knocked backwards. So I went on ahead. I was convinced to go ahead and go back and see that guy. And I just walked in there. I say, look, man, I say, I got a Louisiana driver's license. I ain't got no criminal background. I say, but I got 8 warrants on this. I got 8 warrants on this license. Is that going to stop me from getting a job? I really need a job. And he was like, call me Monday if you don't hear from me. He said, I'm going to call you Monday. If you don't hear from me, call me. Man, I didn't wait on him to call me. I drove up there, right? And I got hired on the spot. I'd never seen I never seen I never sold a car before, right? I did door-to-door sales, but I never sold cars or anything before. And this was 2013. I got hired January 6, 2013. And I had to take all of the tests because they won't let you get on the floor without taking all of the tests from the previous year. So I had to take all of the tests from 2012 before I could get on the floor. So they gave me a guaranteed quote unquote salary of $1,500 a month, right? For 3 months, they gave me 3 months to finish 100. All the 2012 stuff, 3 months. I finished them tests in 2 weeks.
Right.
Because I would get up, I would go to sleep. I went and got me a gym membership at 24 Hour Fitness, and I would sleep in the parking lot.
Okay.
At 24 Hour Fitness.
So you was done with your brother's place at this point.
Yeah, I couldn't go back. I had been barred from the
because of that
yeah.
situation.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've been barred. Yeah. So I'm staying on I'm sleeping in my car. Nobody knows this, but I get up at like 5 o'clock in the morning, go in there, take a shower, right? And then I will go wait until the service department open, right? Because the service department open at 7 o'clock in the morning. So when the techs open, come in to open the door to prep to open at 7, I would go through there, and then I would go to the sales room, and I would turn on all of the computers, and I would turn on all these different tests, and I had all of them running at the same time.
Right.
And I would do all of them, and I would do them all day, and I would stay from early in the morning to as late as they were open, and sometimes the last customer wouldn't leave till 12 o'clock at night, and I would stay all night, right? So I was able to finish those tests in 2 weeks. So there was 10 days left in the month. In my first month, I sold 9 cars in my first 10 days. And then my first full month, I was salesman of the month. So I went from no money in my account, right, to however much I got paid selling all them cars. And then I left that job and I went to another dealership where they paid more commission, and I was salesman of the month over there. And I went from zero to making $10,000 a month selling cars, right? Off of my work ethic, determination, no matter how much life was kicking my ass at that time, right? Because it was kicking my ass, right?
Right.
You know, so this is the willpower and determination. This is who I am, right? I'm not a quitter, right? And by me having this, I intimidate people, specifically men, because even when I was in the car industry, right? When I went to that other place, a lot of the men were jealous. They were mad at me. They were envious because, see, I was dealing with people who've been in the car industry for 30 years, right? 30 years. And here come little old Princella, newbie, rookie, coming there, wiping the floor. I mean, wiping the floor. And they was so mad because I would come in there and my work ethic was so strong.
Right.
And I was making gross. I wasn't giving cars away. I was grossing on them deals, right? I was so good that I taught myself how to speak Spanish.
Go ahead now. Yeah.
Customers would come in there and they could speak English. They could speak English, but they wouldn't speak English. They'll come in there and be like, "You got somebody to speak a Spanish?" If you think I'm finna turn you over to one of these Mexicans in here, so habla español, right?
Right.
And I start speaking to them, and just because some of them I would have to speak Spanish the whole time, right? But a lot of them would respect the fact that I even tried to communicate with them, and they would do the deal with me.
Right.
Do the deal with me, and they would speak English, right? I was so good that some deaf customers came in there. Nobody in the dealership could speak sign language, and these deaf customers wanted the car. Princella sold them.
Just like that.
just like that, because I knew a little bit of sign language because I taught myself a little bit of sign language when I
I
was
was
in the
about to ask you. You got on the grind and just learned sign language.
I,
Like,
I did. I did.
yeah.
And that's who they and I sold them a car. Everybody in the dealership was floored. Everybody. Right? Because I
Mhm.
was because I'm I got determination and I'm gonna always find a way out of no way. That's just what I do. Right? And so, you know, I focused my life on being a better me. I focused my life on being the best that I can and conquering life. So a lot of men, they get upset because it's like, I made a video. I said, I don't compete with women because a lot of men want women to compete with each other. I don't compete with women. And they say, oh, well, you must compete with men. And it never crosses their mind that you can compete with yourself. You compete with yourself. I outdo me, right? Because life has tried to beat me down. And I try to surmount life because I'm not going to let life beat me down, right? I'm going to win no matter how much. So I don't even focus on what other people doing. I don't care what other people are doing. I only care what I'm doing. And it never crosses these guys' mind that you can compete with yourself and you can outdo yourself. And so they find it hard because when men see me, they want me to be submissive. They want me to speak submissively. Life didn't allow me to be submissive. Life didn't create circumstances that allowed me to be submissive. I had I had to be dominant. And I got through this life by myself on all of my own efforts. Ain't nobody did nothing for me.
Right.
When I got my credit score up, I fixed it. And I had people to come in and try to take from me, right? No guy that I tried to help and do business with, right, was righteous in the end. They all wanted to use me for something, whether it was friends, romantic partners. They all tried to use me for their own personal gain. They all tried to set me up for some type of lick, right? It wasn't about doing no partnership, and I always found myself doing all the work, trying to
Have-
part. Hmm?
Now I'm listening to you tell you're talking about these situations, and I
Yeah,
know people are curious because we're gonna get into this topic as
yeah,
well. You became successful at sales. You had these setbacks with these men, and you're speaking on men that have used you or haven't contributed within this time frame, and we're gonna lead up to that. Have you had or had any established relationship with men that actually came in and was like, Princella, I want to build with you. I want to see the best for you. I actually want to do that. That's
that,
never happened.
that's what they claim, and then the snake come out of them, right?
All of them.
They all claim that my mentor tried that, right? They all did the same exact thing. And the last two guys that I dealt with, right? Even one that was a millionaire, listen, even one that owned his own business that was a millionaire, was already successful, was intimidated by me. And they all tried to do the same exact thing. So it didn't matter if they was older, right? I dated them my age until they had two toes in the grave. Right. I dated them at my financial level and more money than me. It's
Now
the
say that. Hold on. Run that back because I'm kind of slow.
yeah,
You dated your age till they had two
two
toes in the
toes in the
grave.
grave. Yeah.
Well, I mean that might be some Louisiana. I mean that's some old ass man or
That's
what?
yeah. My ex-husband is 60. He just turned 63
And
today.
I was gonna get into that.
Yeah.
So because I'm listening to it, and these are things that on both sides. People. This is the thing that a lot of people are having issues with is finding a partner, because I believe relationships, and it sounds like you do as well. You go into relationships to give, and sometimes it sounds like reciprocity is becoming a thing. And I know men are talking about the same thing. They're not getting reciprocity in it, but like to hear you say that and I'm not taking anything away from you. I'm just asking you. That's what this is about. It's not
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
Princella, you're lying. You did this. How
Right.
dare you? You had a man that did.
Right.
I'm just curious because it's like I can say certain things about women that I've had relationships with,
Hmm.
and I can be like, okay. And what a lot of men have complaints about, you know, I'm doing my all, I'm busting my ass, and I don't get anything out of it. I leave this relationship empty and used. And men tend to be called jaded,
Mm-hmm.
or bitter and things like that. I'm not calling you that, but this is what men are called when they say that I can't get a good woman. They all take from me and things like that. What I wanted to ask you, because you mentioned replaying highlights,
Right.
right?
Absolutely.
When the initial men outside of your husband, you've been married once,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
When you replay the highlights on these men, and I know hindsight is 2020,
Right.
and this is what I say when I talk to women, when I have sessions with women and we talk about their relationships and things like that. Did you see initially the quality of this man being like, okay, this is the type of guy? Did you just go in there with arms wide open and just like, I'm ready to give my all?
No, no,
There was
because
no turn.
I did the whole thing. Like I asked questions about his financial
Right.
history. I went and did a questionnaire. I even did some analysis, right?
Okay.
And here's the thing. I wasn't totally wrong, right? I wasn't totally
Mhm.
wrong because he's a great father, right? We co-parent, right?
Okay.
And he pick up his daughter every day, right?
Okay.
We're just not good relationship partners, right?
Yeah.
So
Right.
my evaluation was mostly correct, but he didn't tell me the truth with those questions, right? When I told him certain things, he was like, okay, but that's what men do. They'll tell you what you want to hear, and then once they got you, they flip the script. And that's what happened with my husband, right? Like, even like I told him, I said, well, I do social media because at this time I was just doing Facebook.
When you,
And
what's the time frame for this? Because I know I just want to have
this is
people.
2017. This is
20,
27.
so did you get married in 2017?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah,
2017. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
right, right. So,
Social
so
media, you were
yeah.
saying.
So here's the thing: you can't make a actual decision, right? If you don't have real time information, right? If
Right.
a person if a person gives you misinformation, right, and you make a decision based on that misinformation, you can't say you chose wrong, right? You made a decision based on the information that you had, right?
Right.
So he seemed to be accepting that I was a social media person, but guess what? He tried to get me to stop once he got me. Started complaining, right?
Mhm.
And wanted me to stop being who I was. See, that ain't gonna fly with Princella. That's not gonna fly,
Right.
right? Um, you can't come and take somebody and then try to own them and smother them
And alter them.
and
Yeah.
alter them.
Yeah.
You accept people for who they are. The problem is people have ulterior motives when they get you, and then they flip, right? So I got enough life experience now and enough wisdom to see through a person and who they are before you even open your mouth, right? See, what I've learned about relationships is this: people who are looking for relationships are looking to get their deficiency needs met for free, and they want to get in relationships to get them met by somebody else,
I
right?
agree. I
So
agree.
I'm at the point now where I don't need a relationship because I don't need nothing from a man. I don't need your money, right? Whew, that mess a man up when you don't need his money. Because see, what I found out about men need women. It's like women are a life support. They need women. And they need women to have holes or a deficiency so that he can manipulate her through her deficiency need to get his need met. If she don't have no needs that he can meet, he don't want her because he won't get his needs met because he can't manipulate her. He need her to need love. He needs her to be codependent in a certain area because only then will he be able to manipulate her to get his own needs met, because a lot of men cannot stand alone. They can't be alone. They can't develop themselves independently of women. They need women around for every single thing in their life. That's the reason why they can't take the focus off of women. Every time you hear a man talk, all he talking about is woman, 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 woman. And the reason why he ain't personally developed, because he ain't spending enough time talking about what he need to do to better himself.
Mm.
When I was going through that stuff, the last thing on my mind was getting in a damn relationship to have somebody help me. I did all that by myself.
So let's segue here. So you're a stellar salesman at this point. 2012, 2013, you're like 26. I guess you were saying about around 26.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Yeah.
So you're having these relationships and
Mm-hmm.
you're noticing that these guys are taking
Mm-hmm.
outside when you meet who your ex-husband, when you meet him initially, what was so different about him? And was it, do you say it was his representative that kind of got you,
Well,
or what was it? What do you,
no,
what was
I
it
I
about him?
sense I sense that he was a decent person, right? And he is a decent person. I was right about that, right? But by him being the age that he is, because now we're dealing with a generational difference, right?
Is it like 20 something years, 25
Yeah,
years,
26 years, right?
26 years? Yeah.
There's a generational difference. So he has an idea about a relationship and how it's supposed to go, and he wanted me to stay at home and be a stay-at-home mom, right? And be a slave. I couldn't do nothing. Like I lost. I was no longer the person that I was before I met him, right?
And this
But
didn't happen until after you got married.
right, this did
You
not
said,
happen until after. Right, this did
go
not
ahead.
happen after I got married, and so I was expected to change everything about me. I literally started sinking into a depressive state because I couldn't be me. Right? You don't want me to. You got a problem with me doing YouTube, right? And I'm a business person, right? During this time when I had a baby, right, I couldn't drive trucks no more. That's when I wrote my book.
What year was this?
This was 2017.
Same
20,
year. Okay. Same, you
yeah,
got married. Okay. And
yeah.
you had your daughter the same year.
Same year. Oh, I got pregnant the same year, but then I
Got,
had to sit down, right? Because I got sick. I couldn't drive no more,
got
right? So when I got pregnant, I had to sit down. That's when I wrote my book, The 5 Components of Love, right? But not only did I write a book, I taught myself how to do real estate.
you. Okay.
Okay, so I would sit down. And this is no lie. Not only I would sit down for about 15 to 16 hours out of every day, and I taught myself how to wholesale contracts
Mm-hmm.
and how to work the MLS and how to work the foreclosure market.
Right.
Right. I taught myself all that. And then I taught, not only did I teach myself that, I also taught myself how to trade the stock market,
Right.
foreign currencies and the stock.
Yeah.
Right. So I taught myself all of that. And
Mm-hmm.
he did not want to, like when he would come home after being in the oil field, because we worked in the oil field at the time, after he would come home, he didn't want to do none of the business. He was looking for me to do all of the business stuff and practically retire him, right? So he didn't want to be a partner with me in none of that. I started doing all of that stuff by myself. But after I taught myself how to do real estate, right? I within 2 weeks of getting out there to start flipping contracts, my very first deal, I popped $10,000 on my first deal,
Mm.
right? So I have an internal drive and work ethic. And I see a couple of people, I see this guy in there this alpha guy talking about I'm very masculine and got a masculine voice. What these guys don't realize
Buddy
is,
a troll. Buddy's a troll. He always in the chat. He a troll, but yeah, go ahead.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I do want to, but people say that though, right? So I do want to address that, is that masculine energy is work. It is an action energy, work ethic, willpower, determination. That's what masculine energy is. Masculine energy is a moving, working energy. A woman with masculine energy has a strong go-getter energy. That's what you see. And since I have divine masculine energy, I'm poised and I'm very controlled. I'm very assertive. Yes, I am very masculine dominant. And unfortunately, I can't deal with a masculine vessel that's low in divine masculinity. Yes, I will dominate you.
And
Yes.
that was the case
Hmm.
with him.
With my husband? Well,
Yeah.
here's the thing. You see, I'm doing all this work.
Right.
He just go to work and come home and watch TV. That ain't me,
So
right?
you wanted him to, and I'm just asking you, you would have liked him to partner with you.
Yeah, because I'm doing all of the work, right?
Right.
I'm doing not only that, I'm there with the baby all the time. And
Right.
then he would be gone a lot, right? And then I would also have to help because I had a part-time job too, or a full-time job answering phone calls at the time.
Okay.
So he wasn't even paying all the bills. I would have to help pay some of the bills. So I was taking care of the baby. I was taking care of the baby. I was doing all of that, right? And then when he would come in, he wouldn't even think about what I needed. He'll come in, drop his bags, and walk right out and go get his haircut and all of that while I've been there slaving with. And men don't comprehend this. It's like they just expect a woman to just be running to the ground and be happy with that. And I was miserable with that, right? Miserable. And I couldn't take it no more. I couldn't take it no more, right? And
So
and
you,
that
so he wasn't. I guess what I'm getting from you is that, and I'm not trying to be a therapist, psychologist. I'm just asking you a
yeah,
question.
because I don't need no therapy.
Yeah,
But
yeah, no, for sure. I'm just thinking from a man's perspective as you telling me about this. So it sounded like from what you're telling me, he wasn't there for you emotionally. He would just come home from work and just
yeah, and he would be upset because I have all of these goals and dreams, and you want me to just sit and be some picture perfect housewife. That's not who I am. I don't want to sit in there and watch TV. I don't watch TV, right?
right.
I'm a go getter, and I'm struggling. And I'm doing the best that I can to still try to be a go getter, being trapped in a cage.
And he knew this. He
He
knew
knew
this
this,
before he
he
married you.
knew this before he married me. We
Okay.
talked about it,
Okay.
and then my life changed, and just all that stuff changed, and everything that was said was not true. It was just a lot of stuff that wasn't true that he told me going in that I ended up having to deal with, right off the bat. Like, I made sure, like, finance wise, we supposed to be solid. You say you ain't got no debt or nothing. Soon after you marry, I get a bill in the mail talking about $6,000 owed to the IRS, shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like,
He might have forgot. You know what I'm
but
saying? It
here's
was a discrepancy in the tax return.
Hey,
You know what I'm saying?
whatever. Being single, I ain't got to deal with none of that.
Right.
I
Right.
don't have I don't have to negotiate with you. I ain't got to ask you for nothing. I ain't got to walk on. I don't have to walk light on your ego. I can be me and not concern myself with what you want, what you want to do. I ain't worried about that. I don't have to. I don't worry about that now. So I don't need. At this point, I have learned to fulfill my own needs. I have learned to be whole within myself. I don't need other people to make me whole. And everybody is right. They are right. I am too dominant for the average male. The average male is too weak for me to even be interested in, because I am not going to come down here to make you feel like a man because you can't match my energy. Because see, they always like to say, well, like attracts like, you attract what you are. Okay, y'all want to say that? Then why I ain't attracted a man that's more dominant to me? Huh? Why are you weak dudes who ain't accomplished a quarter? The majority of the stuff that I accomplished, I
Yeah.
did in my 20s.
Right.
I did it in my 20s. And now I'm finna do some exponential stuff in my 30s and 40s, right? If you are what you attract, the very first person that should be coming up to me is somebody that can at least match my go-getter energy.
We gonna
Because
get into we gonna definitely get into that because
yeah,
I think that's very important.
right.
Uh, because I see where you go with that, and I think that that's gonna be one of the ones that we're gonna address here. I just wanted to close out this part with your husband though. What was the final straw with him for you, or was it for him?
Uh no, it wasn't for him. It definitely because he didn't want me to leave. He didn't want me to. I think there might be a part of him that still think we might go get like we might can get back together. Yeah, but
No, I feel it.
I'm gone. I've been gone in the mind. I've been gone. You know what I mean? So it's like, uh, it all started actually when I was pregnant, right? And yeah,
Mm,
it all started. That's when it went downhill,
it just went
and
downhill. Same
went
year
down
as marriage. Damn.
everything. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, I would never. I vow that I will never ever marry again. I don't want to
And
marry.
I was gonna get. I was definitely gonna get in that. You answered my question. For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. So a man can't. See, a man loses power with me. That's just the bottom line. A man loses complete power with me because you don't have no carrots to dangle over my head that I'm gonna jump for. I don't want to marry you, so you can't marry me. So keep your ring, right? I don't need your money. I make my own. You're not gonna be able to hold me on the string. right? So, and so one of the things that people like to do when they feel like you too high, this is where that little rating system come in. Anything that a person can do to try to bring your confidence level down, that they'll do it, right? So I don't listen to people. You can't insult me. You can't. I don't listen to people. So there's nothing a person can do or say that'll bring my confidence level down. You ain't got to like me, because 9 times out of 10, I don't want to be with you, because I'm not gonna cook for you. I'm not gonna clean for you. I'm not washing your clothes. I'm not gonna stroke your ego. I'm not gonna come down to make you feel more manly. Either you get out there and do what I did, right? Because when I got out the army, Jr., my feet was jacked up from all them doggone ruck marches.
Right, right, right.
And going to get my commission, I really had to work them ruck marches, and
OBC, OCS, and OBC.
OCS,
Yeah.
man, that it really jacked my feet up, right?
Right.
But I pushed through, right? And I have a push through spirit. At the very least, a man would have to have the level of assertiveness. He would have to have the level of drive and resilience that I have for me to even be interested in him. I cannot do weak men. I cannot, because I would lose respect if I have to put a dog collar on you and put a gag ball in your mouth and have you say, Princella, spank me. I'm gonna spank you, but then I'm gonna put you out on the street.
So when did you come? Did you come to this realization while you were married that I don't want to do this again?
Mm-hmm. I said I would never, ever marry again, because I don't. You can't trap me, right, to be a life support vessel for you. That you can say, I'm certain that I can go back to this, right? And I can get all of it and let you suck the life out of me. You can't suck the life out of me. I'm a free bird, right? And marriage is a cage, right? Marriage is a cage. And I don't want to be in no cage, right? I don't like people telling me what to do. Because here's the thing, JR, you make it all by yourself, and you done did everything to make it. And then here comes somebody telling you what to do. Nope, you can't go here. You can't do this. You got to do this for me, do that. You as a man ain't going to allow that to happen. But for
You never encountered a man that was just like, Princella, I just want to love on you. I just want to have a good time. You know,
men are incapable of love, JR.
we get into that. I'm just asking you a question because I find it hard to there. And I've seen some ladies in the chat that saying that there are good, and I'm not saying that you're saying that there aren't good men. You're talking about for yourself. What I'm saying is, in your 30 plus years of existing here, you haven't come across one man that, I got my own money. I think you're very attractive. I like your energy. I just let's see the world. Let's do this. Let's hang out. Let's have fun. Let's travel. Let's do things that couples do. I don't want anything from you. You do your thing, I do my thing. You've never encountered a man like that.
No. And then not only have I not encountered that ever, you got to remember, I've been a tomboy my entire life, and
Right.
I've been in male-dominated industries. So
Okay.
that means I've been around men, and I've been in men's circles. I know what men do even when they married, right? See, when I was in the car industry, I remember my manager, cock diesel white dude. I remember I was the only female in the group. And he was talking to us, and he was saying, yeah, man, when my wife leave the house, yeah, I be screwing her niece, right?
Right.
Right. I watched my coworker get busted in a prostitution ring when his wife was the head. She was one of the head executives at a large phone company, right? And he used to come and tell us all of the different chicks he was messing with on Backpage every day. I was in these conversations. I see what men do. All races. Mexican dude, right? He would always tell me about his wife. I knew who his wife was and everything. And he told us that he had just got finished screwing one of the receptionists in a brand new car, and make ready had to go clean it up. I know men. I saw my first sergeant get demoted for messing with an enlisted soldier.
Right.
Right. So here's the thing. I don't romanticize men. I know men. And can't no man pull the wool over my eyes. I know what they do. I know what they about, and I don't buy into fairy tales. So I'm not looking for a fairy tale, right? I accept reality the way it is. Anything that I want in this life, I'm gonna go get it myself. If I want a new car, I'm not gonna wait on nobody to go get me a new car. I'm gonna buy it myself. If I want to go overseas and take trips, I'm gonna do it myself. I'm not gonna buy into an illusion of this perfect guy. I'm not desperate. Yeah, it's some woman that's lazy and don't want to do nothing and want to give the responsibility to a man to take care of her. That's her.
Do
That
you
ain't me.
even give men a chance? Like when if a man asks you out, because I'm pretty sure men ask you out, do you even give them a chance, or is it just like you need to have this up front?
Mm,
Like,
I've
because
I've given men a chance over and over and over again. After the last dudes the millionaire,
okay,
after 25 years of analyzing men, 25 years, I'm tired. I know what they are about, and I don't want to participate no more.
so you don't believe in the individualistic approach in terms of relationships at all?
Every man that's approaching a woman is approaching her because he wants something. Whether he want to use her body as a masturbation device, whether he wants to use her as an accessory to boost his ego, whether he wants to use her as a retirement plan, every single reason that a man is approaching a woman is because he want to use her for something. But it a damn show ain't to love her. See, men are uninterested in being emotionally, intellectually, and spiritually compatible with women. They don't like women or appreciate women at these higher levels. They don't care about your degrees, right? They don't care about nothing that you accomplished in life. All they care about is what you can do for them. Can you cook? Can you clean? Can you drain his nutsack? Can you do all of this stuff? Can you stay young? Can you pop out his kids? That's all they care about. The things that I care about, CJR, I see you got a library in your background like I
Mhm.
do, right? Personal development and spiritual enlightenment and rising to that level is more important to me than all of this crap these dudes talking about. I don't have any interest in playing with men to a level where I got to play this game to stroke your ego to get some crumbs out of you. I want an equal partner. I want somebody that I can enjoy time with. I can't enjoy time with somebody that's intimidated by me. I can't enjoy time with somebody who has to conquer me, who has to prove that he more dominant than me. I don't got time for that. And any woman that want to play with that, they can. They can,
Mm.
right? If that's what you want, baby girl, go get it. But that ain't what I want, right? I want somebody that can talk about deep things. I'm a deep person. I'm not shallow. I ain't got time to talk to you every day about the basketball game and what a man want, Kevin Samuels, this, that. I ain't got time for none of that, right? And guess what? I've come to understand that men are incapable of existing on a plane that does not include how to use you to be his life support.
Mm.
And so I I tell men, I don't have nothing for you. If you broke, you just gonna be broke. If you hurt, you just gonna be hurt. I don't have nothing for you. I'm not a therapy center.
Mhm.
I'm not a credit repair center. I'm not none of that. I had to work all these years to build myself up. And that is actually, listen to me, that's actually the life of a man. That's not this the way I had to live life, that is not how women are supposed to live.
Mm.
See, women are supposed to be in commune because the community is women. So women are actually born to help each other and create the community where they protect and provide
Right.
for each other. That's how that's supposed to go.
Right.
But because of how society has flipped everything out of its natural order, you have women out here who are having to live the life of a man. The life of a man is to build himself up. That's how he's born.
So
He got
are you living out of the natural order? Would you consider that?
everybody living out of the natural order.
I'm talking about you, based
No,
off of what you're
no.
saying right now.
What? You smart, Jr. You
I'm just
smart.
listening to what you
No, no,
said. Yeah.
no, Jr. You smart.
I try
What?
to be, but yeah,
No, you supposed to be smart.
yeah.
What else was I supposed to do? Be on the street and look for somebody to save me?
Not at all.
Right. Okay. So, but that's not naturally how women are supposed to be. Women are not supposed to be out here. Your little girls ain't supposed to be out here
Right.
by themselves. They
Right.
not.
I agree.
Right. But they
I'm not.
are.
I'm not. I already told you. I'm not one of these. One
But
of these
I
dudes.
got you. But I'm
Yeah.
saying, but they are. And since they are, some of them are going to fall by the wayside and some of them are going to pull themselves up by the bootstraps. But what I'm saying is, I have lived the life of a man because the life that I lived required individual, independent construction. You know the Socrates statue, the
Hmm.
self-made man.
Right.
That's
Chiseling
me.
himself. Yeah.
Yes.
Chiseling himself
That's
away.
that is the life of a man. That's the life he's supposed to live. And men are either supposed to sink or swim. You are not supposed to save a man. That's the life he's supposed to live. He's supposed to chisel. I lived that life
Right.
as a woman, even though that's not the life that women are supposed to live, because they are supposed to be protected within the community of women where they help each other raise the kids and all of that. That's how that's supposed to go. But we're all out of natural order, and you have women out here having to chisel, and they're becoming more dominant and more man than the masculine vessel. And so I understand why men see me as a man. I get it, because I'm bold, I'm powerful, I got all of the characteristics that he know he's supposed to have and he don't. Right? And
Okay.
I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that because I made it. I made it. I did all this stuff. I did this by myself, and I'm proud of me. And I will never let nobody make me feel bad about accomplishing the stuff that I had to accomplish and digging deep within my soul to make it. I will never let nobody make me feel bad about that.
Would you like to be with a man that offers those things, or
I
do you
know.
feel like you
I
would
no
be
longer
guarded?
care. I no longer care.
You don't.
Because I have made it to a level where I really don't need anything. I'm no longer codependent. I didn't grow up with love, but I had to learn to love myself. And I had to learn to be content and full within myself. I had to learn to stop looking outside of myself for parts of my personality that's a shadow
Hmm.
in somebody else, and expecting them to give me what already exists
I
inside of me.
I
Right?
get that. You said that, but you also mentioned
Mhm,
Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right?
mhm.
Earlier.
Right.
So
Right.
that was so you are at this point where you're secure within yourself.
Mhm,
You had these experiences.
mhm.
And I know you said you don't care.
Right.
So how does that fit in with the hierarchy of needs? Is
It's
it
it's real simple, because here's the thing. If I want to feel somebody touch, I can just go pay. I can go pay a massage therapist. No, I'm
okay?
serious. I can
Okay.
pay a massage therapist, because here's the thing. When you look at the life of a man, a successful man, go back to white men. They'll tell you it's lonely at the top. And most of like Raymond Reddington off of Blacklist, that
Okay.
is a fictional character, but
Right.
Raymond Reddington was so high that he had to pay, right, for and companionship or a trusted friend. You pay these people, right? You pay, right, so that you can maintain your independence. So I'm not going to trade the things that are human. If I want somebody to touch me, I just go pay a massage therapist. It's that simple. I don't have to trade a critical human need or manipulate somebody to do something just so you can give me something back.
Mhm.
I don't do manipulation, right?
Right.
I'm not going to do a transaction with you. I do
Okay.
this for you if you do this for me. I don't need that. So if I can just go pay somebody to do that, right? If I need somebody to help me around the house, I just go pay a housekeeper, right? And see, when I'm talking about is real. I do that, right? I do that. I don't negotiate with people. Well, what can you do for me? Well, I can
Right.
go pay that when you know damn well you ain't gonna pay for it. That's just a manipulative tactic to get somebody to jump through hoops to show you that they'll do it. I ain't doing nothing for you. If you say you're gonna pay for it, you gonna go pay for it, because I'm not gonna do it. But I'm gonna pay for it too. If I need a housekeeper, I'm going to go pay somebody to help me clean the house. I got a housekeeper service right over in my apartment now. Um, uh, I pay physical therapists, right? I
Right.
mean, uh, massage therapists, right? I don't need quality time because the quality time that people are looking for is within themselves. People don't get enough time to learn who they are, but they want somebody else to understand them. So when people who want quality time, they're looking for somebody else to understand them. They want somebody to listen to them, right? That's what that is. I don't need nobody to tell me good job, right? I look at me and look at all of the shit that I done accomplished and tell me I did a good job. I
Mm.
did all this. I designed my logo. I did all this by myself. Nobody helped me do anything in life. So when I see what I've done, I don't need nobody else to tell me good job. I tell myself good job, right? So I don't need nothing from nobody, right? If I'm going to deal with somebody, it's going to be pure, it's going to be free, and it's going to be the fact that we have some compatibility, right?
That's how it should be, but it
Right.
shouldn't be like I'm not
But
saying that you're just like I'm done with men because that's how some people are taking it. Like I don't need no man. If I want it, I'll pay for companionship or somebody to touch me. These needs, so on and so forth.
mhm.
But I feel just especially on a spiritual sense, like compatibility and all that. But I feel like we still should have same thing with men. All this MGTOW shit you know, we should have the individualistic approach regardless. I mean, you still gonna have your guard up, as far as being taken advantage of because of the shit you've been through. But I'm not gonna be, and this is just me. I'm not
Mhm,
saying I understand what you're saying. I'm
mhm.
just speaking for myself. I'm not gonna be like, because I've been through some shit. A lot of us been through. I know I've been through a whole lot of shit. Some similar stuff that you're talking about. But I can't let that, and I'm self-made in a lot of aspects too. But I still have that, I guess, within me to be like, I know that this has happened with this woman or this woman did this, and to be like, which men do, because obviously sex for men, just to be honest, and I think you already know that, it's carnal. You know what I'm saying? It's not necessarily always tied to emotion.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So we can do that. When men want to be needed as well,
Right,
and
which is
I think you mentioned it
which
earlier.
is
It's not,
codependent. That's
but it's
codependent.
but it's not to the point where it's like if you're coming in telling me I just don't need shit from you, and I can understand that I don't need nothing, and that's something that's basically just saying up front. It's kind of like, well, damn, what can I do? You know what I
Right,
mean?
and I'm not, and that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
That's why males are weak to me, because they are codependent by nature. They need they need ego stroking. And I used to see men so much higher because patriarchy made it that way. Patriarchy told you that the man was the head of the household. Patriarchy told you that he is the leader. But now, when you really look at it, the biological and psychological nature of a male is to be needed. You and I can agree that men and women are not the same. We are not equal.
absolutely,
Right.
absolutely.
So,
I would say in terms of overall spirituality and things, we're equal but different.
no, no,
I
but
mean, yeah, and equal in terms of what you're talking about. You're
yeah,
unequal. Yeah,
we're not equal, not the same. And
yeah,
so, what men can't tolerate, women can. See, y'all have a problem being alone. Scientific studies have shown that men who go through 2 or more breakups or live alone experience physical inflammation. You guys have a physical reaction to heartbreak and living alone. That is not the case with women.
women don't encounter that.
No, we don't. We don't have you can go look up, there are several studies, global studies, that show this over and over again, that men cannot live alone. It takes a physical toll on you. That is not the case with women. It's not. So when I say that I can exist alone, I can say that because as a woman, that's true for us. Men have a tendency to project their own fears onto women, because y'all say that we ain't the same, but you'll say that in terms of sex, but you don't understand that there are other differences. And one of those differences is the ability to exist alone and in solitude. And men cannot take that. There was an attorney on TikTok
I
that
disagree with that, but
you
I
can
agree.
you can disagree without going to look at the research, but all of the research points to me being correct. There's an attorney online And he was teaching women how to protect their children's inheritance from the new wife in the case that she dies before the husband.
Mhm.
Because husbands, on average, this is what he says, that the majority of husbands, on average, when the wife dies first, is married within 2 years of her death. Men jump from relationship to relationship to relationship because they cannot exist alone,
Mm.
right? And so y'all need a partner. And y'all just what men really want, they don't even really like women and can't really connect with women. But they just don't want to be by themselves. They just want somebody in the room. They want in the room, they wanted to keep her mouth closed. Don't talk about your emotions. Don't talk about none of that stuff. Just be there, stroke my ego, feed me, fuck me, and leave me alone. Right? That's the mentality of a male.
Mm.
I ain't got time for that because I'm going too high, and there's no way that I'm finna stoop that low and be empty just because he empty. No, I need mental, spiritual, and emotional stimulation, and the male is incapable of rising to that level because the most important thing to him is sex and company. Sex, company, and ego stroking, and maybe power. Because see, these men got to dominate a woman, and so since I'm too high, right, and I do too much, and I'm too masculine, I got too much work ethic, drive, and all of that. He can't dominate me, and then I don't need nothing from him. He feels so insignificant. I might as well go get a woman. That what they say. That what they say.
What do
That what
you
they say. I think so too.
you think? You
I
said
come.
you said you think so too?
I think they might be right. I think they might be right. I've been fucking with men all this time just to realize I'm looking in the wrong pool because they too low. They can't match my level. So what are we even talking about? What are we even talking about?
Mm.
Right? So I ain't gonna sit up here. I ain't gonna fight him. I'm not gonna fight him. I'm like, when I think about it, I'm like, you're right. Because what men are looking for is receptivity, right? They say submission, but they what they want is receptivity. And you can't come in here with me. You having no life experience, ain't did nothing. You have to be higher than me for me to even be receptive. That means you're gonna have to. If a man want me to really just be all over him and just it, baby, you got to be running major business and know some stuff that I absolutely do not know, right? You got to know something that I absolutely do not know. But an average male who just work a 9 to 5, probably dropped out of high school, barely made it to college, or just go to work and do nothing. I had a dude keep calling me. I got a dude keep calling me. And when I first talked to him, he turned me off. He don't even know that he didn't turn me off, right? But I don't talk to him. He turned me off because I say, well, what you do? Oh, I don't do nothing but go home and I just watch TV and I don't do. You ain't got nothing. You about to drain the life out of me. You ain't got nothing going on in your life. You go to work and you go home and sit down and watch TV.
Peace
And you
ain't enough. What if he got peace? That could
hmm,
have been a good man though. He go home, he peaceful. You know what I'm
what?
saying? He
And
work.
he gonna drain me, call me 24 hours a day. What you doing? Where you can you come over? And I'm busy. I'm busy, right?
Yeah.
I'm writing my third book. I'm writing my third book right now, right? I got. I'm doing an interview with you right now.
Right.
I got a million calls. I got a million emails that I got to answer. I got a lot of stuff that I got to do. I got taxes finna get ready to come up. All kind of crap,
Right.
right? I ain't got time to be dealing with no dude who just go home and then got a million hours of nothing, but wondering when he gonna get my time. But see, men are codependent, so they can't. I want a busy person. See, I want a busy person. Because I understand quality over quantity. I don't
Hmm.
need a lot of your time. I need quality time. I want you to be busy. I want you to be doing your own thing, and then we can get together with a little bit of time, and we can enjoy that little bit of time that we have together, and then we go back to our respective duties for this planet.
Let's talk about the quality. So the men, looking back in retrospect, I know you talked about, you said your ex-husband and you dated a millionaire. That still
Hmm.
doesn't mean anything in terms of quality.
Right.
When we talking about the men that you've had experiences with, and honestly, were they the quality? Was it quality of men, or were these men that, as you say, don't have much going on? Men that you're talking about. don't have much going on. They're always all over you. They're looking for a come up. Have you ever encountered a man that actually had something going on, was busy, was about his purpose, and I hate to use that term, but he was doing his thing. He just wanted to spend time with someone and build with someone.
Nope.
That guy,
They all got a doggone mission. I ain't never dated a Pookie Ray Ray. I ain't never
I
dated.
wasn't gonna say Pookie, but you feel
No,
me.
but
Yeah.
no, but because that's the narrative people want to push,
Yeah.
right? Right. My mentor was a political activist,
Okay.
right? And he had an agenda, right? Right. People in the car industry, right? That did the same thing that I did. The guy that owned the trucking company, right? He owned the trucking company. You ain't got time to not have nothing going on, right?
Right.
Right? You busy.
Right.
Same thing over and over and over and over again, right? Same thing,
So the
right?
same thing's
But
popping up in different men.
ain't now one of them has pants sagging. I had none of that, right? It's the mentality, right? Right? Because here's the thing, y'all need y'all ego stroked, right? You need to be needed, right? And a lot of men get their ego stroked by their ability to dominate a woman. Right? If he can dominate a woman, because by nature, men are validated by women. That's a fact. A pimp ain't a pimp without hoes. And a man,
A pimp is a weak position, though. That's
no,
a
no,
weak
no, no,
man
no, no,
anyway.
no,
So
no,
you can't. That's
no,
not a
no,
good
no, no,
example.
no, 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 no.
Yeah.
Let's take the industry out.
Mm-hmm.
The fact of the matter is that male is not validated without the presence of women. The male is not validated without the presence of a woman. So that's why when men trade in women, look at Derek Jackson. What are people talking about? His wife that he divorced with this new chick. It's all about your ability to conquer who you think is the baddest bitch. That's the game. So here's the thing. I ain't got time to be dealing with no man who lives his life based on his ability to conquer somebody. I don't have time to play that game. I don't want to play that game. I'm not going to play that game.
I'm gonna put it like this: a real man, and I'm not trying to be negative towards you, is who you describe yourself as. At the end of the day,
I know.
that's a real man who's.
I know. I'm the real man. That's why they mad.
A man is validated by his own accomplishments. That's what a real man is.
I know.
You don't need outside validation
I know.
from a woman. So what you're saying,
is that the majority? That's where the majority of people are, and that's what I'm saying. The type of person.
There's a lot of real men out here, though. There's a lot of real men out here.
Baby, they in the minority. See, y'all want to.
I agree.
Right.
3%.
Right. And guess what? Guess what we all gonna be doing? Let's keep it a buck.
Yeah.
Women gonna be sharing that man.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
So here's the thing, right? A person that got to be shared across a line of people, you can't even really connect with that person because now it's out of the quality mode and into the quantity mode. Quantity.
I agree with that.
Right.
Absolutely.
So here's the thing. This is what I keep trying to tell people. This fairy tale that y'all are looking for don't exist. The fulfillment is going to come from yourself. And the higher you go, the less expectations you have of people because you understand human nature and you understand where people are. So here's the thing. I understand male psychology and I understand what they is. And because I have high expectations for men, right? Let me tell you something. Just some of my books, right? Right? I'm in love with General Patton. I'm in love with General Patton. This dude get my fire. He like my fire. This type of man right here. This is what I expect out of men, right? Dale Carnegie lights my fire.
My favorite book right there.
This is the type of man that I look for. I want. These men are few and far in between, right? Napoleon Hill, this is my expectation for males to be men, but they're not, right? Listen, I'm going to read something real quick out of this. This is the Kabbalion. I want you to hear something. You got that too.
I got all the books back here that you talk about. But go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. So let's see. I just want to read this part right here. That's right here. So this is what the Kabbalion says. It says the normal method is for the masculine and feminine principles in a person's mind to coordinate and act harmoniously in conjunction with each other. But unfortunately, the masculine principle in the average person is too lazy to act. The display of willpower is too slight, and the consequence is that such persons are ruled almost entirely by the minds and wills of other persons. Even this book tells you that the masculine energy in the average person is too low. As a man, I expect you to have more masculine energy and more willpower than me. And men are upset because they can't dig deep in themselves and be better. And they want women to come down so that they can feel better. And I'm just not on that. I do have a lot of masculine energy. I got a lot of willpower. And that's where I'm going to stay.
I think that's a blanket indictment that's got some truth in it for sure. But these men do exist. Those three men, it
I
can't
ain't
be
looking
just.
for them.
It
I ain't
can't.
looking for them. I'm not looking for them. I don't care.
Yeah. But those three men, there are more men just like those. With those, I think that was three men: Dale
Just
Carnegie, General
yeah.
Patton, and
That ain't what I'm
Napoleon
telling you.
Hill.
That ain't the average person though.
It's
That's
not, and
right. So
these are the 3% men that we
mhm,
speak of, right?
mhm.
But I get everything you're saying, but you're not looking for him because he hasn't shown up yet. And usually when you stop looking, that's when they do show up. But I think it's there. You know what I'm saying? And you may have already turned them down. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day.
That's I know the thing is the male got an ego, right? And we just want to the male just wants to put his image out that we ain't as bad. It ain't as grim as it look. Everybody, let me tell you. Listen, you say you got this book, right?
Yeah.
You
When
know what,
friends influence
you
people
know
by
what
help.
do you know what Dale Carnegie say in this book? In chapter 1, Dale Carnegie says, the majority of men think that they're good men. Even bad men think that they're good men.
Right.
Very few people recognize themselves as bad men. So
Right.
a man telling me good men, yeah, that don't mean nothing because even the most heinous criminals out here thinking they good men. So what you think about a person who ain't never killed nobody? What you think he think about himself?
Yeah, you
Every
talking about the one where he's saying about that serial killer that hit up in the house. That's exactly what he was talking about.
yeah,
But that's with anybody. You can tell anybody anything, but you got to show me, baby.
that's what I'm talking about. So when you talking about good men, every dude that come in my comment section talk about it's the good man. Here's the thing. Everybody repeating that Kevin Samuels stuff, they think that they the high value man. It ain't me. Even Pookie and Ray Ray think that they not the bad man. I had a dude come in my comment section to talk this stuff, and he had tattoos all over his face in a six-pack. Sir, where did you get that six-pack from? I know you got it in prison, sir. Where you get them teardrops from, sir? I know you got it in prison, but you talking this stuff like you the high value man. You the Pookie and Ray Ray everybody talking about. So I don't listen to men say nothing. I'm too busy doing my own thing. I'm building myself up, and that's what a man got to do. And if he get it together, he get it together. If he don't, I don't care. I don't care because I'm too busy trying to add value to this world.
Right.
I'm not trying to add value to a man. I'm trying to add value to the world. Right?
You open to a man showing you though, instead of telling you.
Man, at this point, I don't even
You
care.
don't care, but I mean, you
I
open
don't.
to it though.
No, because I said I think they right. I'm gonna start dating women. That's what I need to do.
Hey,
That's what I need to do. I'm out on this.
I
I'm
don't know
out
if
on.
y'all heard it here first, but y'all heard it here first. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
I hear you.
They right. No, they right because you even said it. The real man is who I've presented myself to be. You
It's who
said
you're describing.
well,
You
but
describing yourself. Yeah.
that's me. But that's me. So every all these dudes in the comments calling me a man. Everywhere I go, they calling me a man. You know why? It's not the way I look. It's the way I carry myself. It's this energy that flows off of me. It's dominant masculine energy. That's what it is. So it's like that energy instantly triggers competition in a male's mind. In order for a male
These are
to
insecure
exist,
men.
huh?
These are insecure men. But
Yeah,
yeah,
but
go ahead.
that's the majority of them. No, that's the part that I need us to stop talking to men like the men, like instead of talking to men about women as if the majority of men are these high level
They
pat
aren't.
right. So what the conversation to men don't need to be about women. The conversation to men need to be about how they make them better. But instinctively, men know that other men ain't gonna get better. Y'all know men ain't gonna get better. So the easy way is just let's just talk about what women doing. Let's just talk about what women doing. So they can't never get better because they never take the focus off of what women are doing. Turn it on yourself and find out how to get better. All these dudes that y'all talking about, you got them books, JR. But I bet you your audience ain't got them.
They don't want to hear that.
Right. But they do want to hear
um,
about that peach. That good old succulent Georgia peach. They want to hear about that. What that
let me
peach do?
see something.
Yeah,
Let me
let me
see something.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
But
what they want to hear about.
I think with Javon Clark, I had him on. He's a very intelligent brother, and
Mm-hmm.
he would do exactly what you said. He would just in a constructive way. He would it would be tough love. Then all of a sudden he said, "You know what? I'm done with this shit. I'm rebranding myself, modern masculine man, and I'm just gonna be talking to dudes
Mm-hmm.
because this doesn't make any sense. Just constantly talking about women or
Mm-hmm.
not bash women, but constantly talking to women in
Right.
terms of how to improve yourself and things like that. When we should be talking to men,
Right.
especially if we find ourselves to be the prize,
Right.
right? So I definitely agree with that on that tip, but let's bring it back full circle to love,
Yes.
which is what this is about.
Right.
Men are incapable of love
Absolutely.
because of all of these things. So I just want you to present that, I guess, in that form. Ultimately, men are incapable of love because of
Okay. Well, before we can give you because of, the question is, what is love? Right?
okay,
Right?
exactly. All right.
All right. So everybody got a messed up meaning of love. Now, let me ask you this question.
Okay.
Are men territorial?
Absolutely.
Okay. So
Women are too, but I'm
no,
not
no,
I'm not doing a whataboutism, but
right,
yeah,
right, right.
correct.
So without you even realizing it, you just said right there that men ain't capable of love. The mere fact, yes,
You're talking
the
about unconditionally.
no. There's only one love. And here's the thing. Men can love cars, they can love dogs, they can love a hobby, but they cannot love a woman. They can't love a woman. I'm gonna tell you why.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
The
Yeah.
mere fact that you even said absolutely right off the tip of your tongue that men are territorial. You know what it means to be territorial? To place ownership, to place ownership on something. So the moment that you place ownership on something, you no longer love it because love is not possession.
Mm,
See, to possess something, right?
okay.
To love something, that means you got to let it go free. I know you've heard it before.
You must love in
If
such
you
a way
love,
that the person
you
you
love
love feels free.
free because
He's not
love
hun.
is not because love is freedom, right?
Right.
If you love something enough, you let it go. If it come back, it was meant to be.
Right.
Why do you let things go? Because one, love is selfless intent. To be territorial is in direct opposition of selfless intent because territory exists in the law of self-preservation.
Well, we got to break down this whole structure of marriage as well too. Then we
Well,
got to throw that. We got to throw that out the way. You know, but that's. I mean, I guess that's a different
I'm
conversation.
out. Yeah, that's a different conversation because
Yeah.
I'm out on marriage,
Yeah.
right? I don't believe in
But for
marriage.
those who do believe in love, a lot of
We,
times believe in marriage goes hand in hand.
well, we all know that's a farce. All
Yeah.
that's a falsehood. First of all, monogamy was created for men to keep men alive. Because if monogamy didn't exist, most of these dudes
So
wouldn't be getting no peach.
We
and
can
we see
go. Yeah, we can talk about that. But go ahead. They wouldn't be getting no peach.
they wouldn't be getting no peach, right? Let's just keep it a buck. We know that. So monogamy was created for them. Now, self-preservation, the first law of nature is the law of self-preservation. In this area, you protect your ego, you protect your own self-interest. Love cannot exist in self-interest, but men who are territorial are trapped in a lower nature, which is in the law of self-preservation. You have to go to the height of transcendence because love is a transcendent concept and it is
Absolutely.
selfless intentions. That means everything that you do for a person ain't got nothing to do with what you're going to get back. Men are territorial and they're transactional. They're territorial and they're transactional. So if you love a flower, you wouldn't pick that flower because you admire and appreciate the originality, the authenticity of the flower and every detail about it. And you know that if you pick that flower will cease to exist to be the thing that attracted it to you. So instead of you trying to possess that flower, you will allow it to exist in its natural habitat so it can remain the authentic thing that you laid your eyes upon. Men see women and instantly they want to own them, they want to conquer them, and they want to pick them and put them aside. They don't want to admire her for all that she is. They instantly tell you, we don't care about half the stuff that make you who you are. I want to possess you for this reason, this reason. Can you fix yourself to be what I want? That is not love, but that's what men need to exist because men are codependent on women by nature. So they get with women that they need to fulfill a need. And when his needs change, his woman changes. When a man's need changes, he'll get with you for one need. Let's say a man need a place to stay. He'll get with you for a place to stay. And then let's say he get a place to stay. He don't need you for that no more. Out the door he go. He want a woman that got that know how to fix credit, got all of that, and she making money. He'll go get with her, get his shit on, boom. When he don't need her no more, off to another one. This is why men change women because so it's a risky thing for a woman to talk about she gonna help a dude when he ain't got nothing, because men use women to fulfill a need, and once that need is no longer there and their needs change, he'll trade you for another one that'll fulfill that new need. That is not love. That's possession, that's territory, and that's survival of the fittest or survival. Love don't exist that low.
So these human social constructs, because what you're speaking of, in my perspective, is in the spiritual realm, right? In my estimation. But so these social constructs are all getting it wrong,
Yes.
if that's the case.
Yes.
So
They're
this
all wrong.
for those of you traditional people who are listening, from what I'm getting from Princella, what I understand is that they're getting it wrong because obviously marriage and a lot of times, relationships, in my opinion, are something that women nurture and women push for typically in marriage. Women don't usually propose to men. And I'm speaking in terms of the marriage
Mhm.
concept. They push to be married. They don't propose, for the most part. They don't
Mhm.
propose to men. They
Mhm.
want to be married by men for the
Mhm.
most part, not the other way around. So, and within that, they want monogamy. And I know you talked earlier, and I'm just going to ask you this. You were talking about at the car dealership, you by hanging around men, and I know in the army you've heard, locker room talk and all this other stuff.
Mhm.
And that seems to be an issue, I take it, with you as far as monogamy with men, or is that no longer an issue
I
either?
don't care because here's the thing.
So a
I
man that you're with, it wouldn't be an issue.
no, I'm telling you, when I would break up with dudes, the first thing I would tell them, you need to go get a girlfriend and get out of my face. Yeah.
So when you were together, it wouldn't have mattered. At now, for
Yeah,
example,
and for dang sure it don't matter now. It really don't matter now. I'm not trying to keep you. I don't need to possess you, right? If you want to go, go. If you feel like you need to get your needs met by somebody, go,
right?
right? I don't need to own you, right? Go be who you need to be.
I see where you're coming from. So I see, I get where you're coming from in terms of this, but traditional people aren't going to understand.
T-Car, Tommy.
Well, here's the thing.
You're definitely not going to get with that in terms from a traditional standpoint, and those who are looking for a significant other to be monogamous with them, to not fuck around on them, to not cheat on them, to honor
World
them,
changing.
be loyal. Yeah, I understand that, but
Mhm.
when it comes to this concept of love, and I'm a father, you're a mother, right?
Mhm.
And I'm assuming you're just talking about in terms of intimate partner, significant other partner, and things like that, in terms of a man loving a woman. You know, you have people who do things which can be questionable in the name of love, right? They go to war, they kill people, they uh, do all types of things in the name of love. And I guess that can be questionable as far as what their intention is. That's not love. And I'm assuming that's what you probably will say. That's not really love that they're doing that for. They're doing that because of ego, which is the other thing that comes into.
Correct.
You have
Which
ego and
we
you
all
have
know that.
love.
Mhm.
So in terms of my daughter, which obviously, my daughters aren't my intimate partners. They will one day be women.
Right.
I'm assuming that's a different type of love than the actual significant other
All
love.
love is the same.
All love is the same.
Yeah,
So
all
men
love.
can't love, period.
Like I said, men can love cars. They can love animals. They can love.
Children,
Uh, they don't love children though.
they don't love children.
Because here's the thing. There are 5 components to love. Love is made up of 5 components. And this 5 components, it goes for anything that you love,
Okay.
right? And because there's a rhythm to love. So the 5 components of love are: seek first understanding, and then ye be understood, which will lead to appreciation and compassion, which will catapult you to sacrifice. Sacrifice 5 things for 3 reasons. And these 3 reasons only, right? Then it's to ensure the survival of and willingness to die for. All 5 of those things
Okay.
have to be in play. Men are uninterested in understanding women or anybody else.
Yeah.
To understand requires a lot of work. Scientific studies have shown that men are low in their ability to listen. Women far surpass men's ability to listen and empathize. Men cannot listen, and to understand requires active listening. It requires studying. It requires enlightening yourself on somebody. It requires a whole lot of energy that men are not willing to put in. And then, after understanding, you move to the second component, which is appreciation and compassion. And to appreciate something means to recognize and enjoy the full qualities or the good qualities of someone or something. To recognize means that you got to see. And you don't see with your eyes, you see with your mind. And how do you see? By seeking first understanding and gaining information and knowledge on a person. And then you have to appreciate or recognize the full worth of that, what you discover, and you got to enjoy that. Men do not enjoy women. They don't enjoy what women got to talk about. They
I
don't.
enjoy all that. I love
Nah,
all that shit.
I hear you.
I
I
love all
hear
that
you.
shit.
Yeah.
Go ahead, though.
But this just it come from every dude will come in here and say that, but they'll at the same time turn around and gaslight a woman for her experience. They'll turn around, right, and throw it back up in her face, tell her she talking too much, right? That, oh, we don't care about your degrees or none of your background, blah, 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 blah. They tune women out. They do not enjoy the essence of a woman.
I love all that shit, but I hear you. Go ahead though. I just had to say it again, but
Well, 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 70% of divorces wouldn't be filed by women if that was the case in the majority of the cases. 90% of divorces wouldn't be filed by them college educated women if that was the majority of the cases. 54% of women that were divorced wouldn't be talking about they never want to remarry again if that was the case, right? So the reality is this.
I think that's evolution that you was talking about earlier. Things are changing, but go
The
ahead. Yeah,
reality, but that's the reality. We
yeah,
can't ignore the why. See, we always want to talk about the effect, but we don't want to talk about the cause.
right.
The law of cause and effect. You can't talk about the effect without the cause. So yeah, 80% of divorces are filed by women, but what's the cause of that? Because men don't listen. And they do not have the ability to understand. And let me tell you something. The first component is the most critical component, because without that component, the other 4 components will not come into play. And men are incapable of doing the very first component that makes up the 5 components of love. Men are not capable of the most critical thing in understanding, and that's listening.
I hear you. We gonna take a little break real quick. You feel like taking some calls, Princella? I'm not
Yeah,
gonna keep you on here. We're gonna take a few calls because I know Princella about to light some ad. No, I'm just joking, y'all. She not about to do that. We about to have a constructive conversation for the callers that's calling in.
right.
Yo, keep it straightforward, straight to the point. You know what I'm saying? We're not here to have no long debate.
Right.
I'm here to find out more about Princella and her point of view, her perspective, her ideology, her thoughts. So when you call, keep it simple, straight to the point. If you got a question, and we're gonna address it like such. But before we do, you know what I'm saying? Hit that like and subscribe button. Also subscribe to Princella's channel. Y'all know what it is. She is the queen maker, which after that, we're gonna address that before we get out of here. The whole queen maker
Yeah.
concept and all that.
Mhm.
But go ahead and subscribe to her channel, guys. Follow her on Instagram as well. We're gonna have all that information in the description. And with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and bring on this first caller here. See you done changed your name like 30 times. You know what I'm saying? But I'll go ahead. You want to get it right. I'll go ahead and bring you on here. So little podcast. I see you. Talk to me. How you doing, sir?
What's up, bro?
Hey.
I didn't know you was able to. I didn't know you was paying attention to my name thing.
Yeah, I seen all that, man. Where you calling in from?
And I'm in Kentucky by way of Chicago.
Shout out. What you got? What you got for the lovely Miss Princella, the queen maker tonight?
Man, I'm scared of her. I really
it's the voice, player. It's the voice. But go ahead.
I was just on the phone with the Coalition of Black Men. I was trying to save your black manosphere card.
I'm not in the manosphere.
But
Yeah.
listen,
I'm not a red pill warrior or in the manosphere. But go ahead.
Come on, man. How you gonna be light skinned and not red pill? See, that's funny because we call light skinned people red, right? No, but no. Listen,
I'll address that light skin thing later. That seems to be a constant.
Yeah, but listen, it's all in fun.
I know, but we can do other things about talking about somebody's skin color. You know what I'm saying? Because it reveals, it makes it look like you insecure. But go ahead though.
Really?
That's what it do. Whenever I've been going through this my whole life, so it makes it look like somebody's insecure. But now we will keep it player though. Go ahead though, man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Now listen, it was hard to keep up, right?
Mm-hmm.
But, it was like I was trying to understand where it was coming from. I don't know the sister story, and that's probably too long. But just to say that men can't love, right? You say they can love a car, but when a man sees a car, he picks the car and takes it and keeps it as a possession, the same way you described when he what you would do with a flower, right? You said you wouldn't take the flower, you would just allow the flower to be.
Let me tell you what. Let me go ahead and take you through the 5 components of love with a car. Okay. When a man likes a car, right? He begins to do a bunch of research on the car. He learned everything he can about the car. He go study it, go learn, pull magazines, probably go watch car shows and all of that. Learn everything that he can about the car, to the point he knows so much that he has grown an appreciation for this type of car. He knows so much that he knows the pros and cons between a Camaro and a Mustang, right? He could tell you the torque, the year, make, and model, this piece, that piece, all that. He could tell you everything about the car, right? He has grown so much appreciation, or recognizes the full worth and the value of the car, so much so that he also has grown a sympathetic pity for the car. It's pain and suffering, compassion. You better not scratch his car, right? Because he gonna go crazy if you scratch it, right? Protect his car, right? He has so much appreciation and compassion for the car that he now is going to sacrifice or give up 5 things of value for that car. He going to give up his time, money, energy, ego, and effort to add to what he appreciated about that car. He's going to give up his time, money, energy, ego, and effort to relieve the car of its pain and suffering. And he's going to give up his time, money, energy, ego, and effort to maintain the integrity or the quality of what he found in the car. That's what he gonna do. He gonna protect and make sure that that car stays what he found it, right? Stays that little nice little thing. He wants to ensure the survival of that car, so much so that he's willing to get a car cover or put it under a shed, right? To make sure that don't nothing hurt it, right? And you better not try to rob him for that car, because if you try to rob him for the car, he gonna protect. He gonna put his life on the line to protect that car, right? Because that's what you do for people that you love. But men see women as something to conquer, not something to love. He sees her as something to conquer. So once he conquer her, the thrill is gone. He don't want to invest no more time, money, energy, ego, and effort into her.
So the problem with what you're saying is men see women as something to conquer. That doesn't have anything to do with the way he sees a woman.
What? But see, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Can I finish?
Go ahead.
So I might see you out at the club as something to conquer, but then I might see another woman the same way I would see my car. Well, I want to learn everything about her. I want to know everything about her. I want to know about her history. I want to know about her present. I want to know what her future plans are.
That's a lie. That ain't what men do. That is not what y'all see.
Wait a minute.
That ain't what males do.
This is see the problem with what you're doing right now.
The first thing that come to a man's mind is fucking. That ain't what. That is not.
Okay, you're right. So if I said right now that women just want men for their money, would you agree with that statement?
Sir, no, but at the end of the day, I don't care. No, because
you said no, right?
No, sir, I didn't come here to argue and debate with people.
I'm not trying to argue. You're the one who keep cutting me off. I'm not trying to argue.
I got you. But here's what I'm trying to get you to understand, right? I ain't come here for nobody to challenge me on the 5 components of love, because I really don't care what men got to say about this, right? Because you're not finna convince me that you look at a woman and the first thing that you think about is, oh, I want to know her dreams, goals. No, the first thing that come to your mind is pussy. For you to tell me anything else makes me not even want to talk to you, because I know you lying off the top, and I don't want to hear that. I just don't want to hear it.
So listen, this is what you talked about, right? Ego. The ego that it takes for a person to say, I know you're lying. Right?
I ain't finna play this game with you. You take this, because I ain't finna. I don't even do this on my show.
Right? Do what? I was invited up. I'm trying to talk, and then I'm saying what I'm saying, and because you don't believe me.
No, because I know men. I got 25 years worth of experience with men, and I'm not finna sit up here and let you tell me no BS when I know the first thing that go through your mind is what go through that little head in your pants. I'm not finna listen to that. From no dude. I'm not finna listen to that nonsense.
We literally just listened to you say a whole bunch of stuff that we thought was nonsense, and we listened respectfully.
What's the
answer her question, bro?
What was the question?
What's the first thing you think of when you see a woman?
I look at her as beauty. I think about how attractive she is.
And what goes through your mind after you look at it? Is it, oh, I want to know her mind, what she studied, or is, damn, I want to know how she feel in bed. Oh, I bet that ass. Oh, I know I know you men. I know everything. So don't lie to me.
So, but
Don't lie
you
to
didn't
me.
even give me a chance to say any of that. All I said was that some men look at women. I didn't say the very first time a man looks at a woman, this is what he thinks. I just said sometimes men look at women and they do want to know about them. They do.
Some. So that means, guess what? Some. The definition of some is at least a small number. So let me tell you something. It's some 10-year-olds that's in PhD programs right now, getting a doggone PhD in astrophysics. I ain't talking about them exceptions to the rule, baby. I'm talking about the rule. When a man see a woman, the first thing he think about is all these different positions that he can put her in. Now let's cut the games.
But what does that have to do with the fact
It
that
got everything to do with what I'm talking about, because the first thing that go through your mind is conquering, because that's your nature, right?
So what?
Right. It ain't no so what, because this got everything.
It
got everything to do. It got everything. See, this is why women, because
people,
this is y'all listen.
You keep saying, listen, can I speak? Ma'am, some people go to college and they think they want to take one thing and they end up taking something else. People, your mind, it does not stop on the first thing you think. When I first looked at you, you're an attractive woman around the mouth area, right? I like the way that your mouth moves when you speak. I don't know if it's because you're Southern or the braces, right? I noticed that. And then I moved on and paid attention to what you were saying out of your mouth. And I have not thought one time about putting you in any positions.
I know you ain't thought about it right now.
Things that you have been saying out of your mouth about men. Here's the thing. I'm not even saying that you're wrong. What I'm saying is that you're giving a blanket statement as if two things can't be true, or that you can't be wrong about the way you're quantifying men.
Sir,
what you're saying about men is true. I don't think that applies to the majority of men.
That does.
Especially since the majority of men tend to stay in their relationships with their women beyond sex. It don't even be about sex anymore.
It be about damn. She do cook, clean, and wash my clothes. Okay, so I ain't finna uproot this, but man, I'm gonna keep on fucking this pussy cross town over there, right? Hey man, come on, I'm straight raw and real with it. I don't play these games. See, this
Thank
is
you for just proving my point.
No. They do.
The very first thing that I said when I started talking was that yes, men will look at women that way, but he will look at a woman in a different way, right? You just said yourself, he will have a woman that he appreciates all these different things.
I ain't say, oh no, I did not say that. See, I'm gonna have to shut you up right there, because see,
that's disrespectful.
See,
you don't shut me
up. See, I've been talking to JR real nice the whole time. See,
you have, so why are you talking to me recklessly? You have not told him one time that you was gonna
let me say something real quick, right?
You gonna shut me up.
Yeah. Because JR had the nice music in the background, and me and JR was kicking it. And then here you come,
right, because he light skinned. I get it.
Well, he light skinned, but that ain't got nothing to do.
She light skinned. Light skinned women don't like light skinned dudes. I don't even know.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah,
they are cute. Okay, JR cute. I'm not gonna sit up here and act like JR ain't
for a chocolate man like you.
No, it would be if I was looking. I ain't gonna lie, JR. I would choose you out of him, but that's another thing. I'm sorry. Look, I said that you would keep your wife because you using her and sucking the life out of her, not because you appreciate and love her. No, because a bird in the hand is better than two in the bush. See, I know how you think, right? I know how it would go through your mind. I'm not finna uproot what's my lifeline, but I ain't got no thrill with this sex no more. So I'm gonna go get a woman that's gonna fulfill another need, because men use women to fulfill their needs, period. Right? And if a dude got low self-esteem, he gonna go get a bunch of women with just for the sole purpose of showboating on other men. Oh, I'm messing with this broad, while his wife is at the house going into depression, He ain't helping her, putting all the burden on her just to say, well, I'm married, when you know good and damn well that you ain't doing right in your marriage. Because I know, because I done seen these dudes that I used to work with, how they were screwing all of these women and making their wives look bad. The people that's in women's inbox the most is married men. So let's cut the games, man. Just talk to me like y'all was calling me a man. Y'all was calling me a man in the comment section. So talk to me
but
like
I
one
need
of
you
your
to
homies.
understand that you're not one, and that when you speak
Oh,
into one, when I talk to women, this is what I do, right? When I talk to women, I'm literally doing a docuseries right now. I'm interviewing 8 women. I've interviewed 7. I got 1 more to go. Why? Why am I doing that? Because I actually give a shit about women's experiences. I care about what they think. Can I finish?
I ain't saying nothing.
I care about how they think. See, this is what we do as men. We say, because this is what I figured out. I was trying to get women to realize that no matter where you meet a man at in life, he wasn't born that way, right? He had experiences that led him to the point where he was. So if you met him at 18, 25, 37, or 42, it does not matter. Whether he's broken a ball, and he had experiences that led him to that point. And then I realized something when I came to YouTube. I realized I'm not the only man in the world who's talking to women about accountability. So now that I know there was a Kevin Samuels, a Coach Greg, a J.R. Wisdom, all these other people, okay, I don't have to do it as much. Now I can do the same thing that I was trying to do for the women, for the men. Hey, fellas, guess what? These women that we call them modern women, there's a reason why they think the way they think. We can excoriate them. We can talk about, can put them up. They're definitely out there for us to hold accountable. We can definitely judge them and all of that. But let's try to understand it, because I am a very empathetic person, right? What you said men can't be, which is another thing that blew my mind, because I am most certainly an empath. But so what am I doing? I'm interviewing these women, and I'm talking to them about what their experiences were like from the day they were born, as far back as they can remember, until today. What happened to you between the ages of 2 and 5, 5 and 8, 8 and 12, 12 and 17, 17 and 21, right? All of these different stages. What did you go through? What were your relationships like with men, so that we can get to the bottom of this quote unquote modern woman thing? Why the hell would I spend my time,
you need to land that plane, brother,
interviewing all of these women for free if I didn't care, or if I wasn't empathetic, or if I didn't care about what women thought, or all of this type of stuff? Again, I'm not saying that you're wrong, but I am saying I think you're quantifying this very, very poorly. I don't think it applies to as many men as you think it does. But again, not saying you're wrong.
I'll just let you know that I back up everything that I do with statistical data. I go to PubMed and I pull research papers, and everything I back up it up with statistical data. I look at this thing globally, baby. So you can't tell me that I got a shallow, because I don't just pull stuff out the crack of my wazoo. I don't just go off of my experiences, right? So one thing, you just told me something that you just made it very evident. Which, instead of talking to me like you talk to your homeboys, you say, I ain't one, so you ain't gonna talk to me like one. So that means you're gonna put on a new face, right? That means you're gonna put on a new face and talk in a way that you wouldn't talk, which is raw and unfiltered when you talking to your homeboys. See, I done been in them conversations, and I know how men talk. And I've been in these conversations for 25 years. So it don't make no sense for a guy to pretend. Because let me tell you what dudes do. They could be talking to each other, and they could be talking raw. Soon as a woman come by, guess what they gonna do? They gonna stop that conversation. It's a woman there, right? That's deception, and that's falsehood out the gate. So there is no sense of no man putting on this filter because I'm in a woman body. Even though men keep talking about I'm a man, you might as well go ahead and talk to me like one, since I've had the experiences of a man, right? I've been around men. I already know how you talk. So you can just keep it a buck with me. I know what men think on sight, right? I know the motives of men. They not marrying women because they love them. That's bullshit. We all know that's bull. Y'all know that's BS. Y'all get with women that fulfill a need, period. Because if that was not the case, then when women get sick, they wouldn't experience the highest divorce rates of men leaving them once they ill, right? Because he didn't get with her to take care of her. He didn't get with her because he loved her. He got with her because she was fulfilling a need, and now she can't fulfill it no more, and he need to go somewhere else after he done sucked the life out of her. That's stats. That's proven research that women experience the most divorces by men when they get sick and ill. That's a fact. Okay, right?
Who divorces who the most?
Listen, I'm going through all that right now. But here's the thing. The very fact that women get divorced by men, when men divorce women, it's when she gets sick. Women divorce men 80 to 90% of the time, depending on if she's college educated or not. Because one, men putting all the work on her, right? Right? But that's stats. That's stats. And I pulled that up and I proved that. I pulled that up and I proved that with stats. So if you be ignorant,
there's no way that you can use statistics to prove that men put all the work on the woman.
If you're gonna be ignorant, I'm not gonna communicate with you no more. Right?
How am I being ignorant?
JR, handle your boy, because I'm through talking, because I can.
That's what people usually do when they can't solidify their argument.
No, because I pull up data. I got a whole video where I went through 2022 statistics, 115 of them. Sir, there's research on it, and I'm not gonna sit up here and argue with you or nobody.
To back up that men put all the work on the woman. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, it is. There's a 97% increase in the chance of divorce when men contribute a minimal amount of work to housework. That's statistically proven. So listen, I'm not gonna play with you and nobody else. Now,
you talking about minimal housework, but at the same time, are you talking about situations where the woman is a housewife?
Little podcast.
That's not even most relationships.
Hey, little podcast, man. I know we short on time, bro. Princella, hey, I appreciate you calling. Princella got her own podcast though. If you want to tune in, she goes live. And y'all can go ham Newton on there, all you want. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure she'll be happy to talk to you, bro. But I appreciate you calling in, man.
No doubt. Salute to you, bro.
Hey,
sister.
Hey, later, bro. All right, peace. Shout out to that brother there. You know what I'm saying? I know we got a couple calls. I want you guys to keep it quick. Let me go ahead and delete this call-in thing here on thing so nobody calls in anymore. So, but yeah, we not having a live debate, guys. We just asking questions and moving forward. We can have a little discourse back and forth, but we're not about to get into all out discussions because we've been on here for quite some time, and I still got to get talk to Princella about the actual queen maker, line and things like that. So, matter of fact, let's do that first before I bring on the next caller. That way we can just get this out. So, So the queen maker, how did you come up with that, and what is that basically about, Princella?
Actually, I didn't even come up with that name.
Okay.
I had a lot of videos start picking up traction on TikTok. And one of my commenters was like, you ain't just a queen, you a queen maker. And then I told a friend of mine that he was like, yo, that's your brand, P. That's your brand. I said, yeah, you know what? He said, you need to go ahead and do something with that. Mm-hmm. And so it was him and the people in my comments on TikTok that gave me the queen maker. And I figured that this is the correct name because I'm about power. That's why it's called the High Powered Podcast.
Right. High Power Podcast. Yeah.
And the queen is the most powerful piece on the chessboard because she's free. She's the most free piece on the chessboard. And I've learned in my life that being a queen ain't about how you look. It ain't about how you talk, baby. It's about how you move. It's about how you move. And you got to move with freedom, a free mind. And so everything I do is about leveling up women so that they can be free and make the most correct moves in life, or the most powerful moves that they can in this life, so that they can not only be of value to themselves, but of value to others. Because when you give women a power, you help a nation. You
Right.
help the planet. And I believe that women need the power back in their hands because the planet is in need of love and care because we destroying it with the way we acting right now.
Okay, well said. So you offer workshops and things like that, right?
Yes.
What's these services? I know because I came across your website and we discussed that offline. How often are you doing those for the ladies who are watching that may be interested from the channel, and how do they like get if they having issues in life, if they have a story similar to yours, and I normally talk about this towards the end, but I just want to get it out now. If they
Right.
have a story similar to yours and they see how you came up and how you're basically an entrepreneur in all these aspects, how do they start to connect with you?
Well, I offer coaching services on my website, PrincellaTheQueenMaker.com,
Okay.
and they can book service there. As with my workshop, the 5 Components of Love workshop, where I prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that men are not capable of love. I proved that.
Okay.
I just did my workshop. I had 62 people sign up for that workshop, and I got 5-star reviews out of everybody for that workshop, and it changed the minds of 62 people. Right? I offer that. I've only offered it twice, right? I used to do it on TikTok for donations, and that's where I got my first market research to see, did I really have something, right? And so after I stopped doing it on TikTok, I made it a paid for workshop. So now I'm going to start setting up dates for 2023. So you can look out for the dates that I'll be offering live and virtual workshops for the 5 Components of Love, where I proved that. And outside of that, I have books that I've written. I'm working on my 3rd book, and it's a male psychology book where I have 35 different types of men, or 35 plus different types of men, and what they pursue and use women for, and the personality types and the tactics that they use, and what they're looking to get out of you.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have all of that, right? So I got a lot of stuff coming up, and you can find all of that on my website at PrincellaTheQueenMaker.com.
Awesome. So you just, ladies, y'all look at, that she just broke it down right there. Y'all know what time it is. So we're gonna jump in. We got like 2 more, and then we're gonna close this out because we can't be rapping all night with y'all. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna go ahead and bring on Lee. Talk to me. How you doing, sir or ma'am?
I'm all right. How you doing, sir?
Is that Caliban or Calabos? Caliban?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Where you calling in from?
I'm calling in from Grand Prairie, Texas.
All right. Shout out to Texas. What you got for the lovely Princella tonight?
Well, I disagree with some of what you're saying, how she's saying men can't love. That would be impossible because if men couldn't love, women wouldn't exist either. Men and women would not exist. Because you got to understand something. Men and women are expressions of what we call God. So that's impossible for us not to love. We do love. It's just how we express our way of loving. We can express it in like, or we can turn it into something deeper, which is love. So I disagree in that regard. But she's on to something. I'm gonna have to let Zoe Williams listen to this, my homeboy, see what he says.
Zoe Williams, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, I hear you. Shout out to Zoe Williams.
It's all good.
Yeah, you got anything else, bro?
That's it, but I want y'all to have a good night. She's on to something, though. She's not bad.
You got anything? You got a response to that, Priscilla?
Oh no, I let it. Hey, I let people think and believe what they want. I ain't trying to argue with nobody.
Got you. Say less. Hey, appreciate you, Lee. Thanks for calling in, bro.
All right.
All right, have a good night.
You too.
Go straight into the next one, and this will be it. Go ahead and kick Buddy from here. Mr. Fantastic 824. Talk to me. How you doing, sir?
Yo, what's up, bro? How you doing, man?
It's the greatest night ever. How about yourself?
Always, man. I can't complain, man. Every day is a wonderful day to be alive.
Where you calling in from?
Jayville, bro.
You said Jayville?
Yeah.
Jacksonville?
Yeah, Duval.
All right, shout out to Duval County. What you got for the lovely Princella tonight?
Hey, man, just reacquaintance, man. Shout out to Princella, man. I see she finally made her way over to YouTube, doing big things. I don't know if she remember me, but you know what I'm saying, we go a little bit ways back on Facebook. She's been arguing for years and years. And I ain't gonna take up too much time. But actually, it's an invitation of sorts. And I was trying to do this through a super chat, bro, for whatever reason. I don't know if you got like your name blocked or something. Whenever I try to put in like certain things, it just wouldn't let me post a super chat. So I make sure I hit your cash app on the back end, bro. But I'm just trying to, I guess, when you get time, because shout out to the breakdown from a woman's perspective. So they had you on, and I was like, oh man, she was over here, she was over there with y'all. So yeah, man, just to see you, glad to see you being successful. You know what I'm saying? Expanding, always been successful, but it's an invitation, man. We get time, hit me up. You know what I mean? If we can collab, black people gotta sit together. You know what I mean? I know it'll make a wonderful, wonderful conversation.
Hit me up.
So that's pretty much all I got.
What was your name under in Facebook?
Reed Richards.
Yeah, I remember you. Hey, how you doing?
Yeah. I can't complain.
Hit me up. I hit you up. Have you text me already?
Yeah, I hit you already.
Okay, all right. I'll respond to you when we get off of here.
Okay, for sure.
All
But hey,
right.
JR, man, again, appreciate you, bro. Hey, vets, both of you guys know both of you guys are vets, man. Shout out to y'all. Thank you for your service. And that's all I got, man.
All right,
No
thank you.
worries. Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic. Have a good evening, man. Well, that's the last one, Princella. Like you said, we don't argue around here. We have healthy debates, difference
Right.
of opinions, and things like that.
Right.
I'm not here. A man shouldn't be trying to change anybody's mind. He states his
Right.
purpose, and I hear you as a woman. You're stating your purpose.
Right.
You're not trying to change anybody's mind, and that's just what it is.
Right.
There's people in the comments like hold her accountable. We don't do that here on the interview. You guys, I've been doing this. I haven't done an interview in a while, but y'all know how I go. We don't do
Well, you
that
know
over
what,
here. We have conversations.
JR, I do want to address that thing because they do always talk about accountability, right?
Right.
Trying to hold somebody accountable is blame. That's not, because accountability is seeing what you've done, going back and looking at the tapes, right? And adjusting your behavior so that you can improve and don't make the same mistakes again. That's
Right.
accountability. A person who is a victim doesn't do that.
Correct.
And that person blames,
Yeah.
right? So how you gonna hold me accountable when I already hold myself accountable? I'm not walking around here with a 430 credit score. I'm not walking around here with 10 different babies by 10 different men, right? I'm not walking around here with no money in the bank. And I'm working on my third book. What do you mean hold accountable? You can't hold me accountable for what I've already held myself accountable for. What you want me to get up here and say is, it's my fault. Men ain't did nothing wrong. It's just me. And men will only do what you allow them to do. Well, you're right. Men will only do what you allow them to do because y'all don't have a governor on your behavior to say what you should and shouldn't do. So you depend on women to govern you. So now I done made choices that prevent you from dogging me. And now you're mad because I know too much that prevents you from being able to manipulate me. Baby, that is accountability. Because now you can't say nothing that I'm listening to. Oh, right? Do better. That's all I can tell you, baby. Do better.
That inflection, though, when she be coming in with that inflection, and then she lowers it, yeah, it's a message. But yeah, I think we gonna wrap this up. So I noticed you be doing them live streams. I be trying to keep it, but like conversations be going on, and I'll be like, man, I be trying to keep it. I know I told you 45 minutes to an hour, and
It's
that's what
hard when you have a good one, though.
yeah, I be telling my guests, I be like up front, 45 minutes to an hour, and then it just turn around to two and a half, and I'm just like going on 3, and I'm like, damn,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? So but I appreciate you coming on, and like I said, this is the type, these are the conversations I like to have. I like to have them often. This isn't that type of show where you just arguing, and it's not manly.
Right.
In my opinion, I don't argue with people. I don't argue with men. So, that's what it is. I appreciate it's been very insightful. Sounds like you've done a lot of self-work,
Yeah.
which is what I admire in anyone,
Mhm.
So if people say I'm giving you your flowers, that's what it is. A lot of people don't like that when you even compliment a woman. A lot of
Right.
these guys. But it sounds like you've done your work, but I can understand where you come from, but I still feel that, I think we agree that the men are out there, but it's just a small percentage, and
Right.
they just haven't crossed your path, I guess,
Mhm.
you
We
know,
can
but
say that.
they do, these 3% men, for lack of a better term, they do exist.
Mhm.
And I guess good, as you said, is subjective. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But
Mhm.
those qualities men possess, and I think just like women, they're overlooked. You
Mhm.
know, those men and women are both overlooked that want to be in love, that want to be, both of them a helpmate, that want to be, have someone next to them, laying next to them, and you can call it attachment, insecurity, or whatever. But I think that need is something that most people yearn for, in terms of sharing that with somebody, you know. So if you come to that realization within yourself, hey, that's just what it is. And if that's
Mhm.
empowering for other people, that's cool too. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah,
So every man and woman must search their own soul and what they want. So
absolutely.
I feel you on that. Anything else you wanted to add? I know your folks is deep in here tonight. But yeah, anything else you want to add?
No, sir. I mean, I think you covered it. You know, like I'm typically prepared for however any conversation goes. You know what I
Right.
mean? I will say that I pride myself on being fully transparent because in life, most people only see the finished product. They don't get to
For sure.
see the, and I walk in a truth. I don't have anything to hide, right? So it's like because we all live life and we can mislead people by pretending that we don't have blemishes in life.
Absolutely.
You got to have blemishes and you got to show people that you're not perfect. I'm not perfect, but it was this imperfect path that I walked that made me the person that I am, that I admire. I admire me. I appreciate me. Nobody else has to appreciate me because let me tell you something. I'm 36 years old and I spent 36 years, 24/7, 365, every day for 36 years with me. So
Hmm.
nobody in this world can appreciate me and have compassion for me the way that I have compassion because I've been with me,
Hmm.
right? And so what other people appreciate is nothing compared to what I can appreciate about myself. And so I want to walk in that and display that for the world to see so that people can begin doing the same thing for themselves.
Indeed.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, Priscilla, it's been a pleasure. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure both there's guys in here and women. I'm pretty sure they enjoyed this. And you know, God willing, we'll have you back on. I haven't been doing interviews in a while. I
Hmm.
haven't been going live in a while, but you know, God willing, we'll come up with, you know, some topic, you know, of contention
Yes.
to discuss, and you know, we'll hopefully knock it out of the park and keep it shorter. So
Yes.
you know, with that being said, can you plug all your handles again and where people can find you at?
Yes. You can find me at uh, the High Power Podcast or at Princella the Queen Maker here on YouTube.
Mhm.
You can find me at I am Princella _ on IG and at Princella the Queen Maker on TikTok. And you can go to my website, princellathequeenmaker.com.
Awesome. And I'm gonna get all that stuff. I didn't put it in the description, but I do have your the link to your, as I said before, your YouTube
Right.
in the title of this video, which I'm assuming you have all that information linked on there. So you
Yeah.
guys can click on that to link directly through her community tab or through her main page to those handles and her other brands and that she's mentioned. So with that being said, you know, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to Princella's channel as well as her TikTok and her Instagram.
Hmm.
And much blessings and abundance. You guys stick around for the next video that's going to pop up on the screen. And with that being said, you know, this is JR Wisdom, and we have the lovely Princella here, the Queen Maker. And we'll see you guys on the next one. You know what I mean? So you guys have a great night, and
Thank you.
peace be upon you.
Thank you.